The main character runs through the forest, after which he keeps tripping and tears his dress. Then he screams that the lady is not far away and orders to find her, because he sees a trail. The girl rises from the ground and understands that she should not fall into eternal sleep like this. She needs to get as far away from there as possible, after which the lady sees someone else in front of her and wonders if it is Lord Ekis. The guy grabs her and the girl just tells him to let her go. The Lord says that if she wants to live, then she should listen to him. The lady needs to go left, and coming out of the Malatau forest on the river, she will see a boat. The main character asks what he is talking about, and the guy claims that she needs to get on this boat, and the current will take her to the border. The main character wonders why he helps her. Lackey Achius is the servant of her half-sister. He is also called the Sword of the Kreutzens and their dog. The man is interested in what the lady is waiting for because there is no time, and he will stop these people and let the girl run. The main character agrees in response to this, and the guy tells her once again to remember that you can never trust anyone. Let her run and never stop. The girl immediately rushes forward. Hey! She thinks that the guy really is blocking the path of the pursuers. The lady wonders what is going on. She wonders if she is in confusion or if panic has taken hold of her. Or maybe she's going crazy. At that very moment, the main character sees Leonard, to Helena with a smile on his face. And the girl immediately hugs him with tears in her eyes. The girl understands that he is there and everyone has betrayed her, but he will never betray her because he loves her and he needs her. The man suggests to the girl not to cry, because she will not have to suffer anymore. But at the same moment, the lady feels a sharp pain. When the girl looks at her chest, she realizes that there is a dagger in it. Leonard claims that he needs the heiress of the brilliant Kreutzen family. Of course, the lady is beautiful and charming, but she is just a bastard of the Kreutzens. And now her power will pass to her sister, and he will marry her, so let the lady disappear forever. Just as her sister wanted, Helena understands that she loved this guy. He watches so calmly as she plunges into eternal sleep. But when she turns to one side, she sees Achius running towards her. The girl thinks why he cares. At that moment, people hear some kind of a voice that asks if she wants revenge, and also whether she wants to take revenge on those who laughed at her feelings and cruelly plunged her into eternal sleep. The girl answers that she wants to take everything from them and wants them to suffer twice or 3 times more than she does. This voice answers that he will do everything to fulfill her wish, but there is a price. At that very moment, the lady rises from the bed and screams in shock, surprised that she is alive. The girl sees some nondescript room next to her and understands that it is now February 16th, 798, according to the royal calendar. Therefore, she actually returned to the past long before she entered into eternal sleep, and also 3 days before her talent was discovered. Helena pinches herself, but realizes that this is definitely not a dream, and yet she still feels the pain from the knife. The girl wonders who sent her to the past, and was that voice really something a deity who took pity on her grief? But then the lady realizes that this is not so, because if someone felt sorry for her, they would not have returned her to the path of the same fate. But that's not important. What's important is that she got the chance to take revenge on them, that she could do it in the future. But the lady needs to get something right now. The girl approaches the butler and realizes that 2 years ago, everything was completely different, so she begins to remember. Helena understands that she must be invisible and that the Marquise ordered her to do so. Now the girl claims that she needs an audience with the Marquise. When the palace, he claims that he will go and ask. Then the lady understands that this situation seems logical. Bastards are not held in high esteem at court, and even the addition of the red liquid of the Kreutzen family does not change the situation, because the Kreutzens are disgusting bigots. The lady curses these Kreutzens. But at that very moment, the butler turns to her and offers to come in. When the girl comes in, someone asks if she wants an audience. The woman also asks what the matter is, and the girl turns to the Marquise and claims that she really wants to go for a walk because it's unbearable to be locked up all the time. Helena asks if she can go to the promenade for a while. The woman asks who she thinks she is, and the main character realizes that her voice is cold as steel. The Marquise wonders if the girl really wants to be seen, and the main character realizes that the expression on her face is one of complete disgust. It's not like her mother's at all. At that moment, someone turns to the Marquise and says that the lady is asking for this for the first time, so let her go. The woman turns to Vieta in surprise, but her interlocutor claims that this lady is already a big girl, so there is no need to keep her locked up. The main character understands that this girl has a soft smile and a gentle voice, but this woman looks like an angel, and there is one to whom her immersion into eternal sleep was most desired. This girl's name is Viata Kreutzen. The Kreutzen family is characterized by such external features as yellow-red hair and dark green eyes. This girl is a delicate white rose at home Kreutzen, and her half-sister Viata Kreutzen. The girl did not notice that this rose had thorns until a certain time. One day, the girl claimed that, of course, her interlocutor would have found out about it, even if not from her. She also introduced her half-sister and claimed that this girl's name was Helena. She was there because it was time for her to get married, and she was concerned about finding a suitable husband for her. The main character wonders if she was blinded by the radiance of high society, in which she suddenly found herself pulled out of the darkness of obscurity. And someone else said that this is it, and the lady will definitely be a heartbreaker, because you just need to look at her smile. Another aristocrat asked why she didn't look like a lady to us, and she had heard that her mother was a beauty. She was so lovely that even Lord Kreutzen fell victim to her charms. Even on his deathbed he remembered her, and tried to call her, so perhaps his daughter's arrival was a consolation for him. A little while later, the girl turned to her sister and said that if she allowed it, she wanted to go home first. But Viata told Helena that today was her first time out in public. Was she really feeling unwell, or had something else happened? The main character answered that no, everything was fine, and she just wanted to go home. She also apologized to her sister and claimed that she was grateful that she took her to the ball. Now the girl understands what an idiot she was. At this time, the Marquise says that her daughter is right, because this child should go out into society at least once. The woman claims that she will inform the butler if the girl wishes to leave the palace for a short time. Helena immediately thanks the Marquise and claims that she is very grateful. The girl understands that the Marquise cannot even imagine. How will this consent come back to haunt her later? People remember how the woman dreamed of getting rid of her after the power of the family awakened in her. They will tear her to pieces, making her life unbearable. And they will succeed, because in the end, they will plunge her into eternal sleep. Well, that's how it was in her past life, because she doesn't intend to let everything end exactly like that. A little while later, the girl is already dressed and realizes that the shirt is bigger than she thought. Probably it's because it's male. This servant did not turn out to be so big, and the lady understands that this happened at the beginning of last year. The lady saw how the fair-haired guy was being grabbed, and the girl understood that this was Sister Viata's favorite servant, so she wondered what they were doing. Helena doesn't remember why he was kicked out, but one day the lady saw his clothes. The girl also thinks that it is very good that she collected the clothes, then pretending that she would take them to burn them. Maybe today's events are inevitable, after which ladies even tuck their hair in to make it look short. The girl hopes that her hair won't fall out of her hat at the wrong moment, after which she also notices her pendant. And looking at him, she sighs heavily. A little while later, the lady goes out into the street, and when the guards notice her, then she tells this man to stand and asks where he is going. The main character raises her gaze, claims that she is Helena Kreutzen, and the Marquise gave her the go-ahead to go out for a walk. The two knights are a little surprised, and one of them asks the lady to wait a minute when they open the gate. Then they wish the lady a good journey. Well, when the girl is about to leave, one of the knights once again turns to the ticket and asks whether he should send for a carriage, remains silent in response to this, and then remembers how someone said that he heard that the maid was expelled. She secretly breastfed an illegitimate child from Madame, and another maid at the same time became interested in why such repressions were taking place. This girl is the illegitimate daughter of a lord, and because they serve her, they can be deprived of life at the snap of a finger. No one wants to mess with her, so let the lady get sick, because it is not their problem. Well, one of the maids was kind, and when the lady was sick, she looked after her. Now the girl looks at the knight and then asks what his name is. The man immediately answers that his name is Maurice Tefran. The main character wonders if the butler asked her to ask about the carriage, and when he is silent, the lady says that he will lead him to trouble, his sympathy for the wrong people. Therefore, it is better that he does not do things that he might not like the consequences of. The main character understands that she does not want anyone to suffer because of her, and still says that she is grateful for his kindness. Helena understands that she is not able to protect herself from others, especially when the girl goes further, she thinks where she will go. The girl thinks that she wants to ask the knight, but she feels somehow awkward after what she told him. But at the same moment, someone else turns to Milady and says that with all due respect, he wants to ask if she will tell him where she is going. The main character is shocked and wonders what he is doing there. The lady first met Lecain only after the power of the family awakened in her. This guy is called the Sword of the Kreutzens. By order of her sister, he was introduced to her person, and the girl wonders if she was worried. Well, the lady only understood that finally Lycan would protect her, and finally she was recognized as a member of the Kreutzen family. But later, the girl realized that his presence was her shackles, with which she will be chained to the Kreutzen family. The power of the family will manifest itself only 2 days later, on the day of the memory of the Marquise of Kreutzen. So the girl thinks why she met the knight so early and what is happening. And besides, Sir Lecain already knows who she is. Now the lady tells Sir that she has permission from the Marquise and asks if anything is bothering him. The girl also asks how he guessed that it was her since they had met before. The guy at the same moment looks a little sad and apologizes to Milady if he offended her because Sir Tefrin told him so. The main character thinks what is wrong with him and why does he have such a face. At the same moment, the knight approaches the lady, and then he takes her hand in his. The girl says that he embarrasses her, but the guy just kisses her hand, and he apologizes for the late greeting because his name is Lacan Achaeus. Well, the main character, at the same moment, collects her hand, and she claims that her name is Helena Kreutzen, and she also wishes him a good day at work. The girl then turns around and, moving on, thinks about who she is writing all this for. At that moment, a second before falling into eternal sleep, when the voice asked her for some reason, she thought about Lake Ian. The girl does not know why his personality excites and worries her so much. And when the lady turns around, she realizes that he did not follow. But she is so stupid and forgot to ask where she should go. At that very moment, the girl hears some strange sounds. And when he turns around, he sees how he is heading on a horse and also understands that he will ask this man for directions. However, when the man comes out from around the corner, the lady realizes that it is Linaine. Helena! He wonders why he showed up again, and maybe he is following her on the orders of the Marquise or Viata. The man turns to Milady and asks to be allowed to take her. Well, the girl only says that Sir Echius is inattentive to the orders of the Marquise. Otherwise, he would have known that she ordered not to give her the carriage. The guy replies that she forbade giving her the carriage, but there was no talk about horses. The main character thanks him for his help, but claims that she has to refuse, and asks him to be kind enough to show her which way to go to the city. But the man replies that he doesn't know why the lady is surprised, but Linaine also says that perhaps the horse knows, because he has been to the city several times. Helena thinks how persistent he is, and was he really like that before? There is one way to find out his true intentions, after which the girl says that she doesn't trust the horse, and therefore asks to give her a lift. The man replies that whatever he wants, and asks her to forgive him, after which he lifts the girl up and places her on a horse. The main character screams out what he is doing, because he is behaving on the verge of indecency. Her interlocutor replies that the lady is dressed like a servant boy, so accompanying her, as befits a lady, would look strange, and she should not discuss it. The main character at the same moment apologizes for her hot temper, and the man asks the lady to forgive him as well, because he was thinking only about himself and hoping that he had not offended her. Helena, looking at his face, understands that she didn't know that a guy could smile, and this is the first time she sees him like this. Linaine then suggests going, and a little while later, they arrive in the city. The girl looks at one of the establishments and wonders if this is a place where people exchange things for money. The man replies that yes, and that it is Baker's Loan Sharking Firm. The girl says that it is clear and thinks that in fact she knows this place, but she has to pretend that she has been there once. The lady says that she just needs something in this office, and the guy says that he will wait for her. The girl understands that at least he didn't ask to go with her, and for that she's thankful. When the main character goes inside, she asks if there is anyone there. The shop owner says that they have a young guest there, but he is just returning from lunch. The man also claims that he had never met the guy before, and asks if he came to pawn something. The main character replies that she heard that you can leave something there and get money for it. The lady asks if he is the owner of the office, and the man replies that he is, and his name is Roman Baker. He also asks what the cute boy will pawn. The girl replies that it is a necklace, and understands that she didn't think that it would be so difficult for her to give it away. This necklace was the only thing her mother left her, and she wore it in the hope that one day her mother would find her. While the girl understands that she needs to leave sentimentality because it is unnecessary. This necklace can bring her only one thing to eat face, and it will help to get money for her purposes. So the main character asks how much he will give for this necklace. The man claims that this is a very expensive necklace and asks where it is from about the guy. The boy replies that it is an inheritance from his mother, but he really needs the money, so he decided to pawn it. The man asks if he is talking about an inheritance and offers to look, after which he says that the boy can pawn it for 100 cards. At interest, it will be 20% per month. And if the guy sells it, he will give him 500 times. The main character wonders if he is joking, after which she even says that this is strange, because other sellers told her that they would pay 300 times for a gram of platinum, but the chain alone weighs 3 grams. So you have to find a more honest seller, and the girl tells him to give her the necklace. At the same moment, the moneylender tells the boy to wait and claims that he can pawn him for 300 times at 20%, or sell him for 500,000 because he cannot give more. Helena understands that if she haggles some more, she can bring the price up to 700 times. But there is no need for that, because 300 times is enough for her. The main character claims that she is choosing a deposit at 20% and asks if she has to pay it when she comes to pick it up. The man replies that yes, and when he hands over the contract, he asks if the boy can read because he wrote down the percentages, and all he needs to do is sign. The main character looks at this contract and understands that the payment period is up to 6 months, and if you pay interest, you can leave the item as collateral for up to a year. She can come back in a couple of months and return the necklace, after which the lady says that she agrees to the terms of the agreement. The man at the same moment hands over 300 krats, and the main character thanks him and also says that there are 30 banknotes. The owner of the shop wonders if he is still counting and thinks only that he is a liar. Well, the main character replies that she must make sure, after which the man asks when he plans to pick up his jewelry, to which the young man replies that about 2 months. The lady, looking at his expression, is a little surprised and wonders if he really wanted to sell her necklace. The girl thought that this necklace had long since lost all meaning to her, but for some reason, now her heart ached with anxiety. A little while later, the main character goes outside, and Lanaine, seeing the lady, asks if she has finished her business. The girl replies that yes, she has, but she needs to go to 2 more places. The main character understands that she now has money, so she needs to go somewhere else, and she asks if he knows where the biggest jewelry store is. The guy claims that the biggest store in the city is a store called Esther. It is located nearby, and the knight offers to go on foot, to which the girl agrees and offers him to lead her. Well, when the main character turns around, she thinks how she can leave the horse, but he probably knows better. A little while later, they come to a jewelry store, and the man tells the lady to come in. And in the meantime, he will return to the moneylender, but the main character asks why, to which the guy replies that he left the horse there. Helena answers that of course she thinks he has forgotten. The girl wonders if he was like that in his past life, but she didn't know him before he was assigned to hers. When the main character enters the jewelry store, she turns to Madame Bobori. The girl claims that she came there because she was interested in some kind of jewelry, and the woman at the same moment wonders if the boy is really looking for a gift. Madame Bobori inherited this jewelry store from her husband, but he fell into eternal sleep due to illness, and now she successfully continues his business. But the Marchioness and Viata had a different opinion on this matter. The Marchioness claimed that it was not proper for a lady to engage in trade. After all, a woman should be the mistress of the hearth, and it is not proper for her to work. When that girl even agreed with them, well, now the woman turns to the boy again and asks what he is worth, because he needs something. Now the girl understands what nonsense this is, and claims that she needs the Kreutzen amulet stone. She heard that they have very similar ones, and the woman replies that Lord Suo brought her a batch. She doesn't know where the boy heard this, but it's true, so let him wait a minute. Helena understands that she needs a talisman to achieve power, but just like her one day, the lady will also be independent, and her name will be known to everyone. To achieve this, she needs a talisman stone. In the kingdom of Calypso, powerful families pass talisman stones from generation to generation. There are 5 families in total, including the royal one, and there are 5 stones that choose a guardian for themselves. They give their guardian strength and 4 powerful families, as well as the royal family of Basilians. They protect the kingdom with the help of amulet stones. The most powerful of the stones is Marquise Kreutzen. After her father fell into eternal sleep, Marquise Kreutzen was left without a guardian for 10 years. The amulet stone refuses to choose an owner only in one case, and that is if its previous owner was immersed in eternal sleep. The woman at this time hands over souvenirs from the Kreutzen family and claims that their prices are different because the right one is the most expensive. The woman is interested in what kind of guy she likes, and usually they take a lot of average ones. The main character understands that among these lines, the closest to the original is on the right, but she will not deceive the Marquise and Viata. That's why the girl is wondering if they have more of these things, because she needs something more like the original. The woman then asks if the boy has ever seen a talisman stone, and he speaks as if he knows what the original looks like. The main character then claims that her sister works as a maid in the house of the Marquise, and she says that the amulet stone is crystal clear and dark, but these lines do not quite correspond. The woman claims that the young man intrigued him, or then they will see what can be done there. After which she shows another one and asks, "What about it?" The main character answers, "Yes," and asks how much the woman wants for it. Shop owner replies that it is 280, but she will give a discount and sell it for 250. The main character is surprised and wonders if it is really 250. And the woman claims that she can't lower the price anymore. And even if the guy thinks it's too expensive, it's still a rarity. Helena claims that it is not about that. And she is only surprised why the lady gives her such a discount. The woman claims that her interlocutor reminds her of her youth. And it's not about appearance, because it's obvious that the young lady will grow up to be much more beautiful than she is. After all, she is charming, even in men's clothing. The main character understands that she is lost. The woman at this time only smiles and says that the deer was so scared, and she is so sweet. She also asks how old the lady is, 15 or 16. The owner also apologizes for the overgrown hair because she couldn't help herself and realized that the lady is much older. But in these clothes, she looks like a child. Helena wonders how she guessed, and the woman suggests to the girl not to worry because she can easily pass for a boy in these clothes, and she is simply a person with a very developed intuition, and other people cannot do that. The owner of the jewelry store also asks if she will take this stone, to which the girl agrees. A little while later, she leaves the shop and, sighing heavily, realizes that she almost fell into eternal sleep from suffocation. Bobori didn't ask why she needed this amulet stone and how she would use it. So why did she give it away? The girl remembers how the woman claimed that the young lady was very similar to her because she was a little girl who was burning with an idea and was ready to dedicate her whole life to it. This is what touches her to the depths of her soul. And the color of her eyes is so beautiful. She also claimed that the girl should come at any time because she can always count on a good discount. The only thing is that she hopes to see her in a dress next time, and the main game does not think about what is hidden behind the words of Lady Bobori, and also why the color of her eyes attracted her attention. But the lady understands that she still got what she needed, but she cannot leave fingerprints on the stone. As the girl moves on, she wonders why Lord Ekis hasn't arrived yet. She only needs to go to the bookseller now, and maybe he met someone, so he was late. Actually, the bookstore is not far away, so the lady decides to go herself. At this time, the help looks at the pendant and claims that his eyes never fail him. Inside this pendant is a fairy's magic circle, and it is a fairy gem, so he will have to hold an auction. The moneylender also thinks how much he will bring him from the noble, especially will step on each other's heels and try to get this stone. The man understands that this is a real gift from heaven, and who he did not expect to find such a treasure from is this little ragamuffin. He will simply tell him later that he lost this necklace and pay off with a couple of gold coins. Well, at that very moment, someone else comes into the shop, and the man greets that person. But when he looks up, he cries out, "Is this really Sir Echius?" And he wonders how he can be of use to him. The man wonders if the guy has come for his loan shark services, and if something has happened. His interlocutor replies that he came for the thing that the boy left as collateral some time ago, and the man wonders if this is the master's thing. Lane. He replies that this boy is his servant, and that he left a pendant made of a purple stone on a platinum chain with the moneylender. Just the one he holds in his hand. But at the same moment, the moneylender hides the stone and asks what the sir is talking about. The guy grabs the man's hand and squeezes it to the point that the hand opens itself. He asks what the sir is doing because he had a legal deal with this boy, and the necklace is his. So Lord Echius can't just come and take it. Well, the guy replies that if he hadn't come, the man would have sold him, and isn't that true? Roman Baker would never pass up the chance to make money selling a fairy gem. The man looks at the table and wonders if this is his contract. When he picks up the document, he realizes that this man paid 300 carts for this thing, and he wanted to pocket the rest for himself. After which the guy throws him 1,000 cards and claims that this is compensation for the penalty for breaking the contract. And then he tears up this contract, and the man thinks, what a nightmare this is. The knight also grabs him by the clothes and claims that a boy came to him and entrusted him with the fairy gem. So let him forget about it immediately. If he hears this from someone else, the guy will have to meet his sword. Then he completely abandons the moneylender, and he cries out that this is outrageous because the gentleman called the sword is Kreutzen, threatening an honest man and all this for the sake of some little poor man, so he should be ashamed. The guy replies that it doesn't matter at all, because this title is an empty phrase for him. And you can say that this is not even true, because for him it is a symbol of shame that he doesn't even want to talk about anymore. After which he leaves altogether. A little while later, the main character sees Echius. The guy claims that he thought the lady would be in Esther's store, but the main character claims that he was gone for a long time, so she quickly went to the bookstore. The knight immediately apologizes to Milady for making someone else wait. The girl claims that it won't be long at all. Helena thinks it's a bit weird. It's like when he was buying food, and now he's so caring with her, like a real gentleman. The knight asks if the lady has finished her business in the city, to which she replies yes, and suggests going home. The man says that he also has business in the city, and the main character says, of course. The girl wonders why she assumed that he cares about her, and takes her home. But when the guy stands still, the main character asks why he stayed there, because he has things to do. The knight replies that his business concerns Milady, which surprises the girl. A little while later, they are already sitting in a restaurant, and the main character says that this is just a shared meal, to which the man replies that yes. Helena, she realized that it was lunchtime, and it seemed to her that no more than 2 hours had passed since they entered the city, but it turned out that much more. At this time, the man asks Milady what she would like from the menu. Well, the main character looking at these dishes understands that she has never heard these names in her life. Everything in her life, that is her diet clothes, and even information, was controlled by her sister. The girl at this time asks what he likes better. The man answers that this restaurant is famous for its meat dishes and asks if the lady likes steak. The girl understands that this steak costs 50 cartons and wonders why it is so expensive. Stone replica costs 250 cards, and the 5th card is in the book, so she only has 45 cards left. The man claims that this steak is the most popular dish, and it is served with vegetables and fruits, and he is also almost sure that his lady will like it, to which the girl replies that yes. The main character understands that if she had known that they would still eat, the moneylender would have had another 50 or 100 cards. The guy at this time rings the bell and asks for 1 monarchium steak and 1 Berta steak. Let him make the monarchium very well done, and the Berta mild. The main character understands that he probably goes there often. The waiter replies that he will be right away and asks if he should bring them drinks. He also says that he highly recommends guyamanga juice, as it is the season now. The man replies that it will suit them and asks if his friend will have this juice, to which he replies that of course. Helena understands that she doesn't even know the names of the fruits, and this is the first time she hears about guyamong. When the waiter leaves, the guy immediately apologizes for his impolite treatment of the lady and hopes that she understands the reasons. The main character asks if he is talking about impolite treatment and wonders if he is really apologizing for asking if she would like this juice. This guy is so considerate and polite, so she can't understand how such a person could become Viata's man. Helena also tells Sir not to apologize, because she understands that it would be strange to talk to her like a lady now, and it would be better for him to tell her what guyamong is. The man replies that it is a juicy fruit about the size of a fist. He knows that many high society girls really like it. The main character replies that she didn't know, but why had she never seen him while living in the castle? For some reason, the Marquise does not have this fruit, even though he said that it is a very popular fruit. Her interlocutor replies that Lady Viata is allergic to him, after which the two remain silent. A short time later, the steak is brought to them, and the two wish each other bon appetit. Helena. She thinks it's good that the food was brought quickly because she felt so uncomfortable from the awkward silence. When a girl tries guyamong juice, she realizes that she is interested in what it tastes like. But at that very moment, the lady realizes that it is sweet and sour and so delicious. The main character happily looks at her glass, but then she notices Lakin's smile, which surprises her. When the lady looks at him again, the guy is no longer smiling, and the girl wonders if she has imagined it. At this time, Lakin asks if the lady wants to try his steak too, since it is cut finely. The main character thanks him and claims that it is very appetizing. Well, at that very moment, the girl hears another voice. The man standing behind her says that this is the sword of the Croissants themselves. The main character understands that there is no doubt about it, because it is Leonard. But at the same moment, the girl understands that she needs to calm down, because if he recognizes her, it will be very bad. Her heart burns with hatred, and she plunged into eternal sleep, but did not forget. As the man said, so that his Helena would not cry, because she would no longer suffer. The knight at this time rises and says that it is a pleasant meeting. Well, his interlocutor asks whether it seems to him or whether the meeting for Sir Echius is not so pleasant. The main character understands that this guy is as abrupt as always, but she wonders what he is doing there. In a past life, they were not even acquainted at the moment, much less engaged. At this time, the guy asks who this young boor is, because he sees that this is a noble young man, but he is very impolite. The main character understands that she wants to leave there right now, together with Lakin, because this man is an unbearable goat. However, at the same moment, Lakin motions for the lady to stop, after which everyone asks his lord to forgive him. After all, he comes from a family that he patronizes, and he has not yet had a chance to learn good manners, so he asks to be allowed to apologize for his behavior. He replies that the sir should not try so hard after all. How would a plebeian know how to properly greet people from high society? He also wishes these two an appetite and leaves, and the main character thinks what she could have found in someone like that, and how blind she was. At this time, the knight asks if everything is okay with Milady, and she asks what he is talking about. And the guy replies that he is worried about why this man could have insulted her, but the main character wonders why. Honor is the first virtue for a knight, and as far as she knows, Lakin would never bow his head to someone like Leonard. And that moment in time, she and Leonard don't even know each other. Even if she said hello, he simply doesn't know her, and this guy called her a plebeian. So now the main character asks her if she can ask him about something. The man agrees, and the main character claims that she could have just greeted him and nothing would have happened. But why did he try so hard to apologize for her and stop her when she tried to leave? The girl asks if he felt uncomfortable, and the man replies that he could not allow a lady to bow her head before him. Helena is shocked and wonders why she sees his face in front of her at the moment when she was falling into eternal sleep. The girl thinks that if he also returned to the past with her, and that is why he is ready to help her. Helena claims that he said that she should not bow her nose to him, and asks why get something, because people are the daughter of the House of Kreutzen, and he cannot allow a lady to bow her head to a man of another race. At this time, the main character even becomes a little disappointed and wonders what she expected. The guy is the sword of the Kreutzens, and it is natural that he protects their interests, after which the ladies offer to return home. A little while later, they head back on horseback, and the man says that if the lady wants to go to town again, she should just say so. The main character sarcastically says that yes, she is the daughter of the House of Kreutzen. A little while later, the girl realizes that she can't believe that the guy paid for her at the restaurant, but she has to return the money to him later. When the girl comes back to the estate, someone asks if she has returned. It turns out it's Viata, and the girl says what an interesting outfit her sister has. She also asks where the girl got men's clothes, because she did not give the servants such an order. But it can't be that the dear one stole them. Helena thinks why she is asking this because she was caught, and the girl does not see in her the daughter of the House of Kreutzen. The main character answers her sister that of course not. And how could she think such a thing? She just took them while she was out for a walk and was going to burn them, so it's okay. Her sister remembers Viata. These are the clothes of her fair-haired servant. The woman asks if this is true, and the main character replies that yes, when he was expelled from the castle, his things were left behind. Helena asks why he was kicked out, and the woman replies that it was probably for such and such a mistake, but she doesn't know. Viata also says that her sister came back quickly, and it doesn't look like she went on her own. The woman also asks who helped her. The main character understands that her sister changed the subject, and she clearly doesn't want her to ask questions about this service. The woman asks if this is true, and wasn't she in town with Sir Echius today? Helena understands that she doesn't know what's behind this question, but he thinks what exactly a woman might know, or whether she gave herself away in some way. But now she thinks that she needs to get out of this situation with flying colors and wonders if this is really the same Sir Echius that the maids were talking about. The woman replies that yes, and it was Laken Equus. He is a knight of their house and is also called the Sword of the Kreutzens. The main character replies that she never knew him and never met him, so she doesn't know him by sight. But she has heard about him because the fame of this guy thunders throughout the empire. Her sister then notes that this is so, because how could a lady know Sir Echius? But why did he take the day off today? The main character thinks that maybe it's because no, but that would be too much. She went to the city for the first time today, and suddenly her relationship with this guy is somehow strange. Well, then the main character realizes that Laken definitely couldn't take a day off just because of her. At that moment, the woman notices something in the lady's hands and asks what she has to, which the girl replies that it's just a novel. She heard from the maids about a fashionable novel and decided to read it. The woman then says that her sister went to the city only to buy a book and offers to show it to her sister. The main character steps back a little, but her sister wonders if the girl doesn't want to show her the book. Helena understands that she can't, because this book is needed to change the future, and she can't give it to the girl. The woman then takes out a novel and asks if it is really called Who Stole Lorraine's Heart. The girl also opens this novel and says that, of course, this is just right for her sister's level. Helena understands that, let the girl laugh, and think that her younger sister is just an empty-headed idiot, because it will be easier for her to achieve her goal. The main character at the same moment apologizes to her sister and says that she is so tired after the promenade, so she asks if she minds if she goes to her chambers, to which the woman replies that she can go, and the main character thanks her. Well, when the girl leaves, her sister turns to the lady again and says that those clothes suit her so well. She can go to the city exactly like this, and she allows it. Then no one will think that the girl is from their family. The main character turns to her sister and says with a smile on her face, "Sister," which of course she will do. A little while later, the lady throws this novel on the bed and realizes that in general, she had spoken to them very rudely before. Perhaps it shouldn't have been because the Marquise and Viata are very hostile towards her. The lady understands what she will do to make everything different, and when she climbs onto the bed, she understands that this time they will all pay for wanting to take away her amulet stone and plunge her into eternal sleep. When it gets completely dark, she will go to the secret room where the stone is kept. But at that same moment, the girl notices someone else, and when she looks closely, that person disappears. The lady wonders if she's just imagining things, but at the same time, Linane is standing behind the tree, after which he looks out from behind him, and the main character returns back to the bed. Viat is walking down the corridor at this time and wondering why Sir Echius decided to use her day off in such a way. It was on that day when the lady first asked to go for a walk. Perhaps there is some special relationship between them, but then the girl realizes that this is out of the question, because they don't even know each other, and why would he be interested in the illegitimate daughter of a lord? He is also a rather cold man, who does not let anyone close to his heart, and the woman realizes that he resembles her father, Count Crocine. A little while ago, the Marchioness was throwing furniture. One of the maids asked Madame to calm down, because she had cut herself. Well, the woman only screamed, "What kind of witches this woman and her bastard are." As a 6-year-old girl, the little girl did not understand what it meant that she had a half-sister. Well, she knows one thing, and that is that her mother suffered a lot because of this girl. Her poor mother went through a lot. Well, when her father saw the little girl standing near the door, he only told her to go into the room, to which she agreed. The lady understands that his eyes were always cold when he looked at her. But he looked at her sister completely differently, with love and care. She took away from her the love that was rightfully hers. That's why the girl harbored hatred and anger, and the little girl understood that this girl was to blame for everything. And as her mother said, this girl is a witch because they love darkness and live in it. So let Sister Helena lives in darkness and oblivion, because it will be better for everyone. At this time, the main character is heading somewhere, and one of the knights, noticing that someone is walking, tells that person to stand. He also wonders who is there, and the main character greets the sir and claims that she came to the tomb to visit her father. When the girl enters the room, he realizes that there are portraits of the ancestors of the Kreutzen family there. The amulet stone is kept there, and the lady understands that it will finally be hers. This replica is almost indistinguishable from it, and the lady thinks how lucky she was to have found one like this. No one will notice the substitution, but at the same moment, someone asks what the girl is doing there. The main character is shocked to realize that it is the voice of the Marquise, and the woman screams to see if the girl can hear her. She also wonders who it is and screams what she is doing, after which she screams for help because there is a thief there. The main character wonders what she should do because she must do something, otherwise her plans will end. The lady immediately answers the Marquise that it is she, but suddenly stumbles and falls to the floor. The knight at that very moment runs into the room and asks what happened. And the woman says that this is a talisman stone and immediately orders to help the girl up. Helena at this time apologizes to the Marquise, but says that, fortunately, the stone was not damaged. The woman immediately runs up to the lady and snatches the stone from her hands, and then she hits the girl in the face. The Marquise screams how dare she touch the amulet stone with her dirty hands. Helena apologizes and says that she just came to visit her father, and the stone is so beautiful that she wanted to look at it closer, to forgive her again, and the woman tells her to keep quiet and not to show up in her sight again, after which the main character leaves and realizes that the Marquise has been caught. She does not suspect that she is holding a replica of the stone in her hands. The girl pretended to stumble in order to attract her attention to the fake amulet stone, and with the other hand, meanwhile, she hid the real one in her pocket. Women would never have expected that. While the main character understands that the amulet stone is in her possession, and this is only the beginning. Now the title of guardian that she dreamed of will be hers. Well, at that very moment, the woman tells her to wait and let the girl stand still. She also says what a vile plebeian the lady is, and the main character wonders if she really gave herself away. The woman wonders if she really wanted to fool her. The lady ponders the power of the amulet stone. A person acquires it if he can accept it into himself in full. Otherwise, the keeper receives only half the power of the stone. Perhaps her tragic plunge into eternal sleep is natural for a bastard. The lady was able to outwit her sister Viata, but the Kreuzen family increased its power, and the lady did not survive only because she was unable to absorb the full power of the amulet stone. Now the girl understands that she has been given a chance to fix everything. She has a talisman stone in her hands. Well, when a woman turns to a lady, she thinks, has she really discovered a substitution? The woman puts down a stone and says that the girl is joking with her, after which she screams that the lady is lying to her, that she came to her father. After all, she didn't come to see her father, but to look at the amulet stone and how one could be such a liar. Helena understands that she got away with it because the woman did not notice the substitution. Otherwise, she would not have put the replica on the pedestal. The Marquise at this time says that she should never set foot in the tomb again. Helena understands that she got the real stone, so she doesn't have anything else to do there anyway. The girl sadly tells her stepmother that yes, and she will never return there again. The woman immediately pushes her and tells the girl to get out of her sight. The main character leaves and thanks her, but as soon as the lady realizes that she has gone far enough, and then he smiles. The lady enters her room and locks the door, and then she takes the stone out of her pocket and understands that now the power of the amulet stone will be hers. But first, you need to take a shower. Linane is sitting in one of the rooms at this time and understands that he always convinced himself that he needed to be strong, but everything is much more complicated than he thought. The girl still doesn't trust him, but he shouldn't leave her alone. One of the knights asks what's wrong with him, and the other replies that the Marquise was a little on edge today. When one of the guys asks what happened, the other one claims that he was on duty at the tomb today and the second daughter came. She came to visit her father, and the Marquise came in after her, and then he heard a scream. He runs out and sees the girl drop the dung clock, with the amulet stone in her hand. The Marquise was clearly outraged by this. His interlocutor wonders what happened next, and the guy replies that the Marquise slaps her hard. Another knight asks what to do because this girl is just a bastard, and a woman would never treat Lady Viata like that, after which the guy said that such things, and he now feels slightly uneasy from what he saw. His colleague suggests sneaking around the pubs after work, because he owes the drink. And when they leave, Linaine clenches her fists. A little while later, the main character hears someone knocking. The girl wonders who it could be, because usually no one can knock on her door at such a time. But at that very moment, the lady notices some light, and wonders if this is the power of the amulet stone manifesting itself. Helna! He thinks what is happening, not even a day has passed, and usually the force manifests itself after 2 days. And then, at the coronation, she shows herself in all her glory. But the lady thinks what is happening now. In this life, she met Lakin earlier, and the power of the stone manifests itself too early. It seems as if all the events of this life are inclined to develop much more rapidly. Well, the girl doesn't know why, but at that very moment, she hears someone continuing to knock and understands that first, she will have to figure out who it is that came so late. When the lady opens the door and turns around, she thinks that there is no one there, and this is very strange. Maybe she is overtired today and is seeing things, but who would need anything from her at this hour? The girl also notices a packet on the floor, and when she opens it, she wonders if there is balm and bandages in there. The lady understands that the only person, except for the Marquis, who might know that she beat her, the knight who stood guard. The Marquis certainly couldn't leave her with this, so it was him. Judging by the look, he felt sorry for her, and the ladies understand that she did not do it on purpose, but she certainly did not assume that he would take care of her health. The guy standing around the corner leaves at this time, and the main character then treats her wounds. And she understands that now she will absorb the power of the amulet stone. To do this, she only needs to touch it. And when a lady does this, she understands that she has such a tender and warm feeling. The power of the stone fills every cell of her body, and thus they become one. But suddenly, the lady begins to feel a sharp pain and screams, realizing that something has burned her badly. The girl is burning from the inside and can't breathe, so she thinks what she did wrong. When the lady lies back down on the bed, she realizes that she is breathing, but everything inside is burning and her head is swimming. All her thoughts were confused, and the lady wondered what had happened. Then she realized that she had absorbed the power of the stone. The girl heard that if you absorb the power of the amulet stone before coming of age, it gives much less power than if you do everything properly. Well, she doesn't have time to wait because she had to do it. It is better to have at least some strength than to be completely absorbed, but for her life to be cut short by attackers. But there is one obstacle, because after absorbing the power of the shorestone, she has no idea what will happen next. Suddenly, the girl finds herself in the Urbian's hall. The lady understands that this is definitely not where she was going, and the girl wonders how she ended up there. The pain suddenly goes away completely, and the lady wonders if this is a dream. Helna also notices the starin flowers that decorate funeral ceremonies, after which she realizes that she remembered this dream about the time that was long before her return to the past. This is a burial mass in honor of her father, Marquis Kreutzen. The anniversary of his entry into eternal sleep was celebrated every year thereafter, and her father was thrown into eternal sleep in an incident on the road. Nobody was expecting her at this anniversary. Well, the girl is also his daughter, but nobody invited her. Only later did the lady learn that her father had fallen into eternal sleep, and on the day of his burial, Viata noticed her and saw that her guardian power had manifested. At first, her face showed fear and confusion, then anger, and then hatred. The girl did not understand what had happened because she did not even have time to realize it. A power had awakened in her that was visible to the naked eye. The lady convinced herself that she had imagined it. But now she knows everything because this girl hypocritically pretended to be concerned about her. She suggested that her sister move away, because if the guests saw her, they wouldn't understand. The woman didn't want anyone to see that the amulet stone had chosen the bastard as its guardian. Now the lady feels like she is being chained and asks for help. But at the same moment, someone asks what is wrong with Milady. When the main character opens her eyes, she feels cold hands on her and wonders who it is. This man turns out to be Lakin, and the guy says that the lady is so sick, and no one even took care of her. Helena understands that it looks like she was still unconscious. Well, he thinks, why would he be in her room? After which the girl asks for water, and the guy hands it to her, and also tells the girl to drink carefully. He also says that it is just a dream, and suggests the lady to sleep some more. At the same moment, the voice inside the people claims that he has been waiting for this for ages. Now let her go to him and free him by force. Because of some magic, he could not take over her body, but she will not hinder him anymore, and will not keep him in the heart of this girl. It will no longer stop him from seizing power, but the last witch still resists. This voice also asks if she thinks he will give up, because he waited for decades, so he will wait a couple more. The main thing is that deep in this girl's soul, there are dark, evil feelings. This will help him eventually take possession of her soul. And if he knew that this would happen, he would take everything from her and tear her soul into pieces to occupy her body. Recently, this voice asked if the girl wanted to take revenge on those who laughed at her feelings and cruelly plunged her into eternal sleep. But everything must be paid for, and she will receive all his power if she gives up love forever. Let the lady give him her feeling of love and care towards people, to which the girl agreed, and said that he should take whatever he wanted, only to help her take revenge. This voice claimed that all this was too much, and a lady could only love one person, so let her choose who. The main character then remembered the knight, who looked at her with concern and insisted that it should be Laken. A little while later, the main character comes out of the bath and wonders if it was all a dream, and Laken could come and court her. Well, the main character understands that the guy probably doesn't even know where her room is, and yet she managed to absorb the power of the stone from the shore. All this pain and discomfort are clearly consequences, but then the lady thinks why she can't use the power, because it is definitely in her. Well, all she can do is cause a glow, and the lady wonders if it is because she absorbed him before coming of age. Or maybe she's weak and wrong somehow. Maybe, as her sister told her, a bastard can't be a full-fledged guardian. The girl immediately gets up from her seat and realizes that she needs to calm down, because this is all nonsense. Well, if you think about it, Viat also contains half of the red liquid of the Marquise, so we need to figure this out. The main character thinks what to do because she needs to show her mastery of force. Otherwise, she will not be able to be a true heir to the family, much less protect herself. The lady must make a complete absorption of the power, otherwise she will not live, and the girl hopes that until that time, there will be no attempt on her life. A little while later, the main character realizes that the funeral mass has probably already begun, but the corridors are so empty. Today is the anniversary of her father's eternal sleep, and besides exactly as she saw in her dream a couple of days ago. This is the day when her power will show itself. The funeral mass of the Marquise is a big event, and the Marquise and Vieta have invited everyone they could. Viatza does not forgive anyone for their respect for the House of Kreutzen. The more people see her, the better. The girl is also waiting impatiently for what should happen exactly as it happened in the past. Now Veronica greets the Marquise with her daughter, and Vieta is standing there. The amulet stone is in a place of honor. And in fact, this is just a replica because the real amulet stone is now her. The lady understands that there is no need to be nervous, and that it is worth waiting for Vieta to notice her herself. The play she wrote will begin the moment their gazes meet. At this time, the woman looks at her sister and thinks that this cannot be, because that is why the light of the amulet stone is emanating from her. Could it be that the amulet stone chose the bastard as its guardian? But the woman at the same moment understands that for now, she needs to remain calm because no one else has seen it. After which she turns to her mother and whispers that she needs to go to her room because she has forgotten some things. The woman says that she should ask the maid to bring it to her, but the girl replies that they are all busy, so it would be better for her to go herself. Heading towards her sister, the woman understands that she needs to get her out of sight as quickly as possible. After all, the further she is from the stone from the shore, the weaker the force will be, and it will take her away so that she will not be seen. At this time, the main character understands that her sister is coming, and she needs to stand rooted to the spot, because everything will go exactly the same as in her past life. Only then does the main character turn around and realize that everything will not go as Vieta planned. After which, the lady runs and then stumbles. People pay attention to her, and one of them screams that the coals of this lady are red aura. This is the power of the Kreutzen amulet stone. Helena understands that everyone will immediately know that she is the keeper of the amulet. At this time, the aristocrats ask if this is the same illegitimate daughter, and the amulet stone has chosen the bastard as the guardian. But this is such a nuisance for the Marquise and Lady Viata. The woman also says that this is the end, because with such heirs, their family will come to an end. The main character thinks how discouraged Viata and her mother are now. The power and authority that they thought was due only to them now turns out to be taken away by her who is an illegitimate daughter. Helena understands that she wants to laugh heartily, but then turns to her sister and asks what is happening to her, because the amulet stone appeared to her. People understand that from this moment, all the glory will go to her. At this time, Viata tells Helena to stand up and asks why she is sitting like a little child. The girl understands that in her past life, when she was naive, she would have happily taken this hand and even cried with joy. If she hadn't given her feelings to the stone, she might have been touched now. Before her return to the past, she was always hungry for attention and care. So now she just pretends to be an idiot, and the girl thanks her sister with tears in her eyes. A little while later, the two are sitting in the living room, and Wyatt says that the girl was probably so surprised when the amulet stone appeared to her. That's why she asks if she feels well, to which the main character does not answer, that she does not know. After all, she doesn't even know how this can be, and the girl wonders if it's true that the amulet stone chose her. Her interlocutor replies that it looks like it, but the main characters don't say that now the light no longer comes from her. The woman replies that it's natural. After all, this is a temporary phenomenon, and the main character understands that in her past life, she told her exactly the same thing. The woman at this time takes her sister by the hand and says that she cannot let her absorb the power of the amulet stone. If she does this before she becomes an adult, it will weaken hers. Therefore, let the sister think it is impossible to allow the abilities of their family to be worse than others. Their family will be laughed at. That's why she asks her sister, understand that she only wants the best for her. Helena is like an abandoned toy. No one needed her as a child, who wanted love so much, and the woman could charm her with just one word. If you don't look closely, her words may seem caring, but behind this lies the threat that she would never absorb the power of the stone. The woman would plunge her into eternal sleep right now, but she pretends that everything is fine and she has to play for the long term. At this time, Viata says that the lady has only 2 years left until she comes of age, so he suggests waiting, and then she can become a full-fledged guardian of the Shorestone. In the meantime, she will personally prepare the girl to become the heiress of the Kreutzen family. The main character wonders if this is really the one who will put her into eternal sleep in 2 years. Well, this time everything will be as she wants, and the main character with a smile on her face thanks her sister, and also says that she is so happy. When the girl leaves, Viata clutches her dress and wonders why the stone chose this little idiot. But at that very moment, the Marquise bursts into the room and screams at her daughter. The girl wonders if her mother has left the guests, and the woman replies that they will manage without her, because there are more important things now. She also asks Viata to tell her what to do with this witch, who dared to take what belongs to her daughters. The lady replies that mother can do whatever she wants, and the woman asks whether to throw this girl into prison or wipe her off the face of the earth. Viata asks her mother to be patient, because this girl may be a buster, but at least she is half of the Kreuzen. They cannot tarnish their good name with such reprisals. When the woman wants to return, the lady once again asserts that she cannot be put into eternal sleep. After all, mother knows what happens when you put the guardian of the stone into eternal sleep. She also wonders if mother remembers what happened to the Weaver house. The woman replies that she remembers that the younger brother advised the elder one to be the chosen guardian of the Shorestone, and he decided to plunge it into eternal sleep in order to inherit this stone. But their family was left without a Shorestone for 10 years. And the Clemens family is only 1 year and 10 months old, so they have to wait because time flies by. And the woman says that you can wait 1 year and 10 months, but suddenly this idiot will take and swallow the stone earlier. Well, the girl says that the mother should not offend this girl. The woman immediately asks what her daughter is saying, because she is so angry that this girl stole what should have gone to her. Viata claims that she will make sure that the girl is under their complete control, and everyone will see how they care for and protect the priceless keeper of the stone. And she enjoys the life of the heiress of the Kreutzens, when she is sure that she is about to become the heiress. Then the girl will rip the ground out from under her feet and take everything from her. Well in her thoughts, she adds that life is included. A little while later, one of the maids informs the lady that mother has ordered them to help her move to another room. After this, the girl asks in surprise if the marquise really said that, and if she did something wrong. Helena understands that, in fact, she knew that it would be like this, because it was like this in her past life, and she was moved to better conditions. So that there would be no questions, Viet asked if Helena liked it, to which the girl replied that of course, and thanked her sister. At that time, the girl did not know what she would have to endure, and was simply naively happy. She was then supposedly moved to the western part of the palace. At this time, the maid tells Milady that everything is not so, because her sister ordered her to be moved to Lucien's chambers. Helena wonders why there, and the maid claims that it would be good to move her to Elam's quarters. But Lady Viata lives there, so she ordered that the lady should live in Lucien's quarters. The main character understands that Elam's chambers are intended for the future heir. At the same time, the second-order heir is usually settled in the Liusan chambers. If the woman ordered to settle her there, it means that they formally recognize her right of inheritance. Helena then says that it's good and let them begin, and the maids thank Milady. The main character understands that there is something more to this, because they would not have simply recognized her, even as the heir of the second rank. Maybe it's only because the fact that she is a keeper has become public knowledge. The girl needs an ideal picture that the illegitimate heiress is being taken care of there, and then suspicion will not fall on her when the woman puts her into eternal sleep. The main character understands that the plan is of course idiotic, and it is not surprising that Viat came up with such a thing. But the girl will take advantage of this, because in her past life, she was the only one Viate. It was necessary to fool. It was she, and now, she needs to fool the whole high society. But then the main character thinks why she had to wait 2 years before putting her into eternal sleep. After all, the only ones who knew that she was a guardian were Viata and stepmother. They talked her out of taking the power of the amulet stone for herself, but these two could have simply put her into eternal sleep. At this time, the maid informs Milady that they are ready, and the main character says that this is good. One of them says that they will start moving the mistress's things, and at the same time, show her the new room. The main character agrees and then suggests going. She also understands that they are clearly surprised, because she has very few things. When the main character gets up from her seat, she realizes that 10 years have already passed. How her father fell into eternal sleep, and she spent them in this abandoned little closet. Since the maid who took care of her was fired, no one has even entered her room. Well then, the girl remembers Lake Yin, but at the same moment, she understands that it is not worth thinking about it, because it is just a dream she needs to forget him. As the girl moves on, she wonders if she is seeing things, or if it is Lake Ini. But at that very moment, the main character turns away and then moves on. The man wonders if she remembers, but then he realizes that the girl cannot remember because she felt so bad. Although, if all the same remembers that maybe she will become at least a little more trusting with him. The guy then knocks on one of the rooms, and the woman tells him to come in. Viat turns to Sir Echius and says she is glad to see him. The man then apologizes to Milady for being late, and the woman replies that it's okay. They haven't waited long and let him sit down. The lady also asks if he'll deign to have some tea, but the man only asks for forgiveness and says he'll stand. Viata understands that he has not changed and he has something to be proud of because his reputation and fame are at the highest level. The guy is an unbending man, and even the crown princess had her eye on him, but Sir Echius did not give in. The knightly part of the service of the House of Kreutzen is more precious to him if she becomes the matriarch of the House of Kreutzen, and the sword of the Kreutzens will be her commander. Then nothing will be impossible for her. The girl understands that everything would be perfect if it were possible to get rid of the unnecessary bastard. Of course, she would not want to ask Lord Echius about such a thing, but nothing can be done. After all, he is the only one who can be trusted with such a mission. After which, the girl turns to the guy and says that she called him because she has a very important task for him. She thinks that the guy has already heard that she has a half-sister, and he replies that it is true. Then the woman asks if he knows what happened at the memorial mass for their venerable father. Lakin replies that it is exactly that way, and the lady with a smile on her face says that she will get down to business. A little while later, the main character lies down on the bed and realizes that she can breathe freely. She also has such a soft bed, and she didn't even know that Lucy's chambers were so comfortable. They exceeded all her expectations. The lady understands that everything is going according to plan, and high society is aware that she is the keeper of the shore stone. Everyone saw her at the memorial mass, and the rumors cannot be stopped now. Soon, everyone from young to old in the kingdom of Calypso will know about this, and there are only 2 years left. The girl understands that she needs to completely absorb the power of the stone and the shore during these 2 years, and enlists support. In the Marquise's castle, she is surrounded by her eyes and ears everywhere. So if she tries to practice the power of the stone, or tries to attract someone to her side, she will lose her head. The lady needs to somehow discreetly make inquiries about the magic stone, and there is only one place where she can do it. It is the Royal Academy of Uvalos. It was founded by the third king of Calypso Basilio, and is attended by young men and women from 16 to 19 years old. And the main character understands that she needs a special course for guardians of amulet stones. But the girl doesn't understand how to make them let her go to study at the Uvalos Academy. She needs to talk about it publicly so that they can't refuse her. So they will be forced to agree, and in the lady's past life, such an opportunity arose about a month after the funeral mass. Perhaps this opportunity will present itself even sooner in this life, just as the amulet stone appeared to her much earlier. The girl says that she will wait impatiently, but in the meantime, she needs to do something. Well, when a lady gets out of bed, she changes her mind. And when she goes back to bed, she realizes that when she sleeps, she will think about it. The girl didn't even know that the opportunity she needed so much was right under her nose. A little while later, the main character apologizes to the Marquise for being late. The woman replies that everything is fine, and let the lady sit down, to which she agrees. Viata turns to her mother and says that it seems to her that Helena is afraid of her because she hit the girl, and she wonders why her mother did this. Helena wonders if the girl really decided to sort things out right now. The main character tells her sister that the Marquise was right, because she should not have touched the priceless treasure of the family, and she apologizes profusely. Viata thanks Helena and says that she is very kind, but still mother is wrong to hit her. She asks her mother if this is so, to which the Marquise replies that of course, and asks her to forgive her. Helena understands that she sees everything on her face, and it looks like Viat made her change, and they pretend that they care about her. After which, the main character asks the Marquise not to apologize, and asks what she should say to this. Viata suggests to just forget about it and start eating, otherwise the food will get cold. When the main character starts eating, Viat says that her sister eats very little, and wonders if she doesn't like the food. The girl answers her sister that this is not the issue, but she herself understands that, hey, the piece won't go down her throat. Previously, the girl ate scraps from the table, and even though it was all prepared in the same kitchen, they ate as expected, but she was alone. The girl was a nobody for 10 years, and then suddenly she was invited to the table, so she can't just relax and enjoy the food after that. At this time, her sister asks to tell them about this, because it is important to them what the girl thinks. The main character replies that she always eats alone, and it is very unusual for her to eat with them. The woman replies that it is clear, and she sees that the lady is having a hard time getting used to the new way of life. But since they have finished their meal, they can chat in the living room over a cup of tea. A little while later, the woman tells Helena sat down there, and the main character agreed. The main character understands that she needs to be on guard because any mistake can be fatal. Viata asks why the girl is so tense, and one might think that she is being interrogated, to which the main character replies that she is simply used to talking to me. The woman says that it is clear, and it was probably so hard for her to be alone. Well, she puts her hand on the lady's shoulder, and he wonders if she knows that they owe her a debt, and that the girl will no longer be alone. Soon she will be the guardian of the stone from the shore, and they must love her. Helena understands that these are the very words she said in her past life, and the girl remembered them forever. The main character thinks how come she hasn't noticed until now, because the girl said that they are Croix and Viata, convinced her that she deserved this love and kindness, only because she is the keeper of the stone. But there was never any sincerity in her words. Now the girl thanks her sister for her kind words, and says that it is still difficult for her to get used to her new life. The girl suggests that she not worry, because if she were in her place, she would experience the same thing. Now there will be many changes. So she invites the girl to Count Marcus's banquet next week. The main character asks if this is really true and wonders why so quickly. Viata asks what surprises his sister so much, because she talked to her mother and she allowed her to come in with hers. Now let the lady go and change for the promenade, because she will be waiting for her outside, and they have a lot of things to do. The main character agrees and understands that she did not expect the banquet to be so soon. While on the other hand, this is an opportunity that cannot be missed. And at the Count's banquet, she will get her chance to enter the Uvelos Academy. When the Marquise comes to her daughter, she says that the girl is already in her room. She also asks if the lady will really go with her, to which she replies that she will. After all, even though the girl is a bastard, her last name is still Croizon, and they cannot allow her to disgrace them with her appearance. On the other hand, she is glad that the girl is so obedient, so there are no obstacles to their plan. She also asks the sewing mother what she thinks about this, but the women are only interested in what she is talking about. Viata states that she thinks there is no need to rush. A little while later, the main character is in a carriage and happily looks out the window. Her sister asks why the girl is so surprised, since she has already been to the city. Helena thinks that this is right, and let the girl ask, because then she can pretend that she went to the city alone. The girl immediately claims that she was riding in a cart, and the shaking was so bad that she had no time to look at the views. The lady understands that in Viat's place, she would have suspected something, and it was no coincidence that Lakine took a vacation on the very day when she first asked to go for a walk. Viata, she replies that she understands, after which she says that she can on the way back. The girl will also catch some carriage. Helena thinks why such rudeness, and the woman at this time claims that in fact on that day, it was she who gave the order not to bring the carriage. As her older sister, she felt responsible for the lady and was worried that she would get lost. But she still thought about taking her to the city sometime when she and her mother got ready. She thought that the girl would not dare to go anywhere if there was no carriage, but the lady surprised them very much by going alone. She is glad that the girl returned safe and sound, after which she asks her sister not to do this again. Helena thinks that the legend is fresh from what time she doesn't care, but the girl thanks her sister and understands that the woman knows how to present any action as a blessing, so that even she begins to believe. A little while later, someone tells Milady that they have arrived, and the main character asks her sister where they are. The woman replies that this is the Queen's fashion house, and it is one of several. Their largest store is in the capital, and there is one branch in each of the 4 great families' estates. Helena says that it is clear and understands that Queen's is a fashion house, where in the past they made her a dress right up until her immersion into eternal sleep. The girl was so happy that she would have the same beautiful dresses as Vieta, and she really began to believe that she was accepted into the Croizon family. The lady had no idea that all this kindness was a show for the public, and she was such an idiot. Well, seriously, for her there was nothing more scary than being alone again. Buying a wardrobe to appease her is a mere trifle for them, and the main thing is that they can take away something much more valuable from her later. Helena understands that they were leading her on, but at the same moment, the lady's sister asks how she got that dress. The girl with a smile on her face replies that it is excellent, and the woman says that if she doesn't like it, then she should just say so. Helena says that they are all so beautiful that she can't even choose, so she asks her sister to do it. The girl understands that this lady is consistent, and even in front of the tailor, she continues to play the loving older sister. The woman says that then she will send an order for this model, and the main character understands that this is the very dress that she wore to the first banquet. Helena, wondering what will happen at the banquet, and the tailor says that the dress will be delivered within a week, but since the lady is on special terms with them, she will try to shorten the deadline. The main character realizes that in her past life, it was on that day that they arrived in Queens, and maybe they'll stop by the jewelry store. When the two head to the carriage, Viata asks if her sister is tired. The main character replies that she and her sister are fine. She says that she already thought she would have to postpone her visit to the jeweler. Uva. The girl looked tired. Helena understands that she needs to control herself and asks if they are going to go to the jeweler, to which the woman replies that yes. After all, they will go to Esther's store. The main character thinks about this in the store and understands. This is the store where she came as a boy and bought a replica of the amulet stone. A little while later, they find themselves in front of this store. And when Viata looks at Helena, he asks what's wrong with her, to which the girl replies that they've been riding in a carriage for the past few times, and she's feeling a little sick. Viata asks if this is true, and the main character says that she has something wrong with her stomach. Her sister says that this is true, because the girl is very pale, and the main character understands that she needs to pretend so that they don't enter the store. But at that very moment, the woman says that there is a place in the store where you can sit down. The main character immediately replies that she wants to go home, but the woman says, well, she did say that she was getting seasick, so she would rest in the store after all, because to get home, they would have to go by carriage anyway. Helena thinks how stupid she is. And why did she blurt out about the carriage? Viata offers the girl to go, to which she agrees. The main character thinks that if Madame Bovary recognizes her, Viata can find out that the girl bought a replica of the shorestone, and she can guess why exactly she bought it. When they enter the store, the woman says, what a pleasant surprise this is, because Lady Viata came to see them. The girl says that they haven't seen each other for a long time. Their woman claims that Milady is just in time, because they only had a delivery of goods yesterday. Helena she thinks how it will be for her, because if Viata figures out that she is planning revenge, then it will be the end for her. At this time, the woman asks my lady to pass, but the girl at the same moment asks Madame to wait. After all, her sister is not feeling well, and the girl is wondering if she can sit down somewhere while she looks at the jewelry. Bobori asks if this young lady is really her sister, after which she says that she understands, and also claims that the poor thing is pale. The main character wonders if the woman recognized her, and at that moment she starts hiccuping. The lady immediately closes her mouth. The woman turns to Lady Viata and tells her to look at the jewelry in the windows, and she will take her sister to the restroom. A little while later, the woman tells my lady that she just made some tea. The main character thanks her and says she will drink, but at the same moment she hiccups. The woman says that this is right, and offers the lady to drink tea, because then her hiccups will go away. Helena wonders if this is true, but when she swallows the tea, she is surprised because the hiccups really do go away. Bobori says that the lady was so surprised by something that she even started hiccuping and she is very tense. So the woman asks the lady what happened. She asked her to come in her true form, and now she is very impressed. And even more so, the people turned out to be Croizen's daughter. She would call their meeting fateful. At the same moment, the main character wonders why. The woman at the same moment whispers that the lady should be quieter, otherwise her sister will hear. She also tells the girl not to worry, because she will never tell her about the lady's mysterious purchase. She needs something interesting, but they will talk about it in a different setting, because Lady Viata may start to suspect something, so she should approach her, after which she tells Milady to rest because she will go, and she hopes that she will like the tea. Helena, drinking tea, realizes that she got away with it, but wonders why Madame Bovary pretended not to know her. Is it really just curiosity and this fateful meeting that drives her? Then the woman spoke about the color of her eyes, and this makes her think. The lady thinks that maybe it was Madame, who also returned to the past. But then she realizes that this is just a guess. Well, if not, then what does it mean? At that moment, the lady's sister turns to her and says that if the girls are better, then let her come there. Helena understands that this girl will not leave her alone for a minute. A little while later, the woman tells the girl to look at this hairpin, and the main character says that it's very beautiful. Helena understands that she will answer from the lantern. Well, at this time, the sister offers to try on the hairpin, and the main character wonders if she really wants to give this hairpin to her. Viata asks how she likes this hairpin, and if she likes it, Bobori tells Milady that it is very beautiful, and the hairpin suits her hair color. She also asks Lady Viata if she liked the hairpin, to which the girl replies that she does, and let the lady put it on her account. The woman claims that this hairpin will be a gift, because they often come, but her sister came for the first time. The main character understands that here, the lady is already overdoing it, after which the woman even asks what the bears are called, and the main character replies that it is Helena. The woman claims that this is a very beautiful name, and asks Lady Helena to give her hand. Viata tells the girl not to be afraid, give her a hand, after which the woman tells the lady to accept the bracelet from her, because it comes with this hairpin. This is her gift, and the woman hopes to see the lady in their store again. At this time, the main character feels something strange and wonders if her heart skipped a beat because of this bracelet. The lady at that moment looks at the cat's eyes and then screams about it. The boutique owner and Viata ask the lady what happened, after which the main character replies that it's just that the cat's eyes on the bracelet are so beautiful. A little while later, the two are already heading in a carriage, and the woman tells the girl to wake up. The main character wonders if they have arrived, to which her interlocutor replies that they have, and asks how the girl feels. Helena replies that she slept well and felt better. The girl also thanks her sister for her concern, but she herself understands that in fact she had to pretend to be asleep because she was simply tired of acting out a performance all day. Helena understands that she has a lot to think about. A little while ago, the owner of the boutique whispered to the lady to come next time. One thing she wants to talk to her about. A lot of things she also has something to tell. The girl can guess what the woman wants to ask, but still does not understand what she wants to tell her herself. It was not for nothing that she did not give her away and pretended that she was seeing her for the first time. Viat adjusts the hairpin and says that it has shifted, and the main character realizes that it seems to be out of place. A little while later, they arrive and sister invites Helena to go home, to which she agrees. The girl thinks that maybe Madame Bobori will explain to her what this strange bracelet is. When she put it on, the bracelet seemed to shrink to fit perfectly on her wrist, and the clasp disappeared and she couldn't take it off. Helena thinks that this is a very strange gift, but at the same moment, the lady it is on something and begins to fall. Well, at that very moment, someone grabs the girl and the hairpin falls out of her hair. The knight asks Milady if everything is okay, to which the girl replies that yes, and thanks him. But at that very moment, the main character notices that her hairpin has fallen, and the man wonders what the scarf is doing there. Viata replies that it is hers, and it looks like she dropped it when getting out of the carriage. His girl apologizes to her sister and asks if Liana got hurt. The main character replies that no. And what luck that Monsieur the Knight came to them just in time. The girl also wonders if this is an accident, and Viat will never do anything without intent. Helena. He thinks what she has planned because they have a banquet planned for next week. I am a girl because I don't want to hurt her. At this time, the woman picks up the hairpin and says that the hairpin is broken, and the main character, confused, says that it was her gift. Helena understands that at least she showed sincere concern, and the woman straightened her hairpin, but it still fell out. Viata tells her sister that it is her fault and asks to let her send it to be repaired. She will have to wait only 2 days, and she will take it to a familiar jeweler, so let the younger sister not be sad. The main character at the same time thanks the girl, but understands that she is embarrassed. When Viat goes somewhere, that understands that there is nothing suspicious. And today the girl behaved as usual. She did not take into account that she might feel bad about leaving, but the girl thinks why she is so worried about her. The woman also understands that she has a bad feeling because she clearly missed something. The lady understands that everything needs to be clarified and that this girl must be kept under tight rein. A little while later, she contacts someone through a magic ball, and the man says who he sees, because he didn't expect the lady to contact him. The woman wonders if DA is not happy to see her, and the man asks what the lady is talking about, because he is simply pleasantly surprised. The guy wonders what happened, and he thinks that she contacted him for a reason, after which he starts asking how he can help her. The woman replies that it is so because she has one request for him. A little while later, the main character goes up the stairs, but she understands that her legs and arms hurt. Her back is also tired. Time has flown by unnoticed since they left for the city. There is only 1 day left before the Count's banquet, and the Kreutzens' reputation needs to be maintained with this visit, so she is busy teaching etiquette. First, the lady had a lesson in communication, and the woman said that the lady should not draw out the answer, because it should be clear and brief. Then the girl went to a politeness lesson. Not a woman said that you need to keep your back, chin, and neck straight. Then she had a dance lesson, and the man told the lady to relax her shoulders and raise her chin higher. And so it continued further. But Helena is so tired of this boring stuff. When the main character goes further, she thinks why her sister called her. She has never called her to her chambers before. And when the girl approaches the door, the butler says that he is glad to see Lady Helena. He also tells the girl to come in because Lady Viata is waiting. The main character thinks that her servant used to look through her as if she were invisible, and now he is so polite. The girl understands that, of course, this is so, because everyone recognizes that she is the keeper of the amulet stone. When the girl enters the room, her sister says that she is very glad to see her. Helena asks if she called her, after which, Viat apologizes for the fact that the girl had to go such a long way to her, but she wants to introduce her to someone. Helena wonders if her sister wants to introduce her to someone, but the girl is wondering who. Will she introduce her to Leonard? But that should happen much later. Now, someone tells the lady that Lord Leikane has arrived Ekius. The main character wonders if the girl really called her to introduce him to guard her. This should happen no earlier than 3 months from the moment the abilities are opened, but now only 1 week has passed. The guy at this time turns to Lady Viata and claims that he arrived on her orders. The woman greets the sir, and the main character understands that she should have expected this because she knows all the events of this life. But it's time to get used to the fact that they all happen much faster. The girl understands that she did not expect this and then thinks about what to do, because if her sister finds out that they already know each other, it will be bad. Although in fact she saw him on the day of moving to other quarters, so formally they are not completely unfamiliar. One of the maids said that it was Sir Ekius, and the other said that she wondered what he was doing in the castle. Helena understands that she can use the maids as her witnesses. Viat, at this time, says that she asked Sir Ekius to come to the palace to introduce them, and he remembers what they talked about last time. The man answers Milady that yes, after which he points to his half-sister, and from now on entrusts matters of her safety to him. This girl's name is Helena Croyson. The main character understands that if he keeps silent about their meeting, then no problems will arise, after which she mentally asks him to keep silent. The man at the same moment says that he is pleased to meet my lady, and claims that his name is Leikane Ekius, and he will guard her person Helena, wondering what he's talking about. And Viat asks why Helena is looking at Ekius like that, because it's impolite. And at that very moment, the lady apologizes, and her sister asks if she is imagining things, or the girl doesn't like her idea of appointing Sir Ekius to guard her, and let the girl speak up if something is wrong. Helena understands that she has disappeared, and wonders why she is behaving this way, after which she says, Ekius is simply so handsome. The lady realizes that the best she can do is to pretend to be as harmless and innocent as possible. Viata tells her sister that even if that's the case, she needs to control herself, and the main character wonders if she really believed it. The woman at this time says that this guy will guard her from now on, and asks Sir Ekius to look after this lady because she is still such a child, to which the man replies that he noticed. At this time, Viata tells Helena to go and rest, and that she and Sir Ekius need to discuss something, to which the girl agrees and tells her sister that she will go, and also wishes her good night. When the girl leaves, her sister stops smiling. The main character at this time returns to her room, and sighing she realizes that she got away with it. But the girl also wonders why Leikane pretended to see her for the first time. Madame Bobori did the same, and that's why the girl thought that she too had returned to the past. Viat at this time understands that this is all suspicious for no reason. This girl became so nervous at the sight of Sir Ekius. It does not seem that she was embarrassed by a stranger, and it looks more like she was afraid that she would find out something. The woman then turns to Sir Ekius and asks what he thinks about her sister. The guy replies that the lady said she needs to be taken under guard. Her interlocutor agrees to something. It is not proper for knights to speak of those he protects, so he asks him to understand. The woman understands that she knew he would say that, and the guy is the same as always. Viata says that she thinks he doesn't need to explain that Helena is inexperienced in communication and good manners, because she is still just a child, so he wants to ask her for something. After all, she needs to know everything about her sister, her movements as well as with whom, and what she speaks as well as what she does. The man asks if he can ask Milady why, and she understands that this is an expected question. At least it doesn't look like there is anything between them. And the woman says that this child will lead the Croyson house in the future, but she is still not mature at all, and the girl will make mistakes in communicating with people and other things. Of course, it is her sacred duty to help her cope, but without his help, she will not know everything about her. Sir Ekius knows firsthand how insidious the world of high society is, and she only cares about her reputation, so she asks him to help her. The man then bows, and he says that if so, the lady can count on him. The woman with a smile on her face understands that with him, everything works out unusually easily. A little while later, the guy walks down the corridor and realizes that it is very difficult for him to figure out this woman's intentions. A couple of days ago, he saw how Vieta getting out of the carriage deliberately dropped the payment window he could not go up to and help. The boy knew that Lady Vieta would not harm Helena for now. He was so worried that he wanted to run away. The guy also doesn't know why Viet did this, and if he had acted recklessly. Helena again, the guy remembers how the lady said that she needed to know everything about her sister. Of course, it is her sacred duty to help her improve. The man understands that the day before he returned to the past, this is exactly what Lady Vieta said. And in his stupidity, he believed her. But when he saw the lifeless milady lying on the ground, he immediately ran up to her and realized that the price for this was catastrophic. A little while later, the guy woke up in his bed and immediately ran somewhere. The other knights asked Sir Ikios where he was going in such a hurry, and if something had happened. The man then apologized, but insisted that he had to go because it was very urgent. One of the knights asked if he knew Sir Tefren because he had been appointed to the guard yesterday, and the man asked what he was talking about. At that moment, one of the knights leaned over and cried out that it was a great honor for him to get acquainted with the sword of the Kreutzens. His colleague said that the guy was still very green, so he was lucky to get to the guard right away. The man realized that Sir Tefren had started his service 2 years ago when he looked at the calendar, as he realized that he had returned to the past for 2 years. A little time passed, and he was convinced that now he had a second chance and that the girl like him had returned. A little while later, he apologized to his sweetheart and asked if he could find out where she was going. He also understood that this time he would do everything to protect her. The guy was worried that he would be assigned to guard later because Milady was moved to a different room than last time. But he is glad that everything worked out, and no matter what this girl plans, he will protect her. This time he won't make a fatal mistake. And at that very moment, the guy notices Lady Helena. He also thinks why the girl is hiding because she went to her room. Maybe she is waiting for him, and he will just pretend that he didn't notice so as not to scare her. However, when he moves on, the main character only turns to Sir Ikeos. The guy understands that she still doesn't trust him, and it's not surprising. She didn't have a single friend in this house. At this time, the lady asks if she can ask him about something, to which he agrees. After which, the main character says that he pretended to see her for the first time, and the girl asks why. The guy understands that it is easy for him to answer this question, and says that if he told everything to Lady Vieta, then Milady would be in trouble. The main character is a little surprised by this, and the guy claims that he did not want to put Lady Helena in an awkward position. The young man also understands that he can be frank with her. Sometime later, they are already heading in a carriage, and the main character is wondering what Sir Lakin has planned. The main character remembers his words and understands that they are very different from how he spoke in the restaurant. The guy spoke as if he cared about her, not the Kreutzen family. But when the guy looks up at the lady, she immediately turns away. The girl understands that in her past life, she at least knew that he was Vieta's servant, but now she is confused and cannot understand why he is helping her. The lady wonders why in this life he lets her know that she is cared for. The girl has suspicions that he may have also returned to the past. But even if he came back, he still has no reason to help her, and maybe everything is very simple, and he helps only because she is one of the Kreuzen. But there is a nuance there. After all, in order to help her, it was necessary to lie to Vieta, who is also one of the Kreutzens. So something doesn't add up there. The lady understands that her head is spinning from these thoughts, and it is good that. But at the same moment, her sister turns to the lady and asks if she is okay, because she really got seasick again. The girl answers her sister that no, and everything is fine, because last time she was on a carriage for the first time, and that's probably why she got seasick. Helena understands that they arrived quickly, but she didn't even notice how they arrived. At this time, the knight says to lower the steps, and Vieta turns to her little sister and tells her to be careful this time. The main character thinks if she is talking about this time, and does the woman really think that she doesn't know who engineered her fall? A little while later, the girl also gets out of the carriage. She understands that patience is needed because today you have to control yourself very strongly. Helena thinks that the decision on whether she will be able to get into the academy or not will be reached at the banquet. The main character thinks that she can't understand Lakeen, but it's even harder to understand her sister. The girl thinks why he goes with them into the hall, also join the knights, usually wait outside. Unless, of course, there is a direct threat to the life of the person being guarded, after which they enter the hall. All the aristocrats immediately look at her in surprise, and the main character understands that she feels obligated at the zoo. At the same moment, someone says that this is the illegitimate daughter of the Marquise. Someone else is wondering where it came from, and the main character understands that these are the same words as in her past life. In her past life, she was looking forward to this day so much, and it was her first time out in public. Just an hour later, the lady ran out in horror and tears, for which the nobility continued to make jokes about her for a long time. But all this is in the past. The lady understands that she has returned to the past, and they will not wait, so she should not be afraid. The girl immediately bows and wishes the countess good evening and introduces herself. Helena also thanks her for the honor of being there, which surprises everyone. The countess says that she is glad to meet the girl and asks if she minds if she calls the child by name, to which she replies that of course. The girl says that she heard that the amulet stone of their family showed itself, but what she didn't know was that the girl was so charming. Viata says that the countess is right, because she invited Helena. You are the light, because everyone was so interested in seeing her. The woman replies that this is true, and thanks Helena for her visit, suggesting that she enjoy the banquet. After which, the woman also whispers to Viata, also claims that Master Osman will also arrive at the banquet. She was informed about this yesterday. The main character understands that the Ottomans are one of the 4 great families, the eldest of the heirs, does not have the title of master, and therefore the master she is talking about. At the same moment, someone turns to Viate, and the main character understands that this is the youngest son named Leonard. The guy, at the same moment, says to Viata, "What kind of meeting is this?" All the ladies look at him with loving eyes, and the main character thinks what this guy is doing there. The girl's sister at this time greets Leonard and says that she did not expect to see him at this banquet. The main character thinks, how is this possible? She hasn't seen this guy for a long time, but her face was very unpleasant for a second. And the girl thinks if Leonard is disgusting to her too. But the lady thinks why? Because this guy said that he would put her into eternal sleep to take away the power of the stone and then marry Viata. The lady did not expect that they had some kind of hostility towards each other. Leonard says that he is passing through on his brother's errands, but decided to drop in on the banquet. And the woman says that here's the thing. Helena, looking at these two, thinks, who will figure them out? Because just now, they were throwing lightning bolts, and now they are being polite. The man then turns to the lady and says that he was in the Kreutzen domain for so long. And that day, he even met Syracuse in the city. The knight immediately bows after that. And Viata asks if he really met him in the city. The main character thinks what a scoundrel Leonard is, and why did he have to complicate her life with his chatter? The man replies that this is exactly it. And he was in a restaurant with some unknown young man and was clearly taking a break from duty. Viata looks at her sister and asks if he is talking about the young man. And the main character understands that she doubted, but she should not say anything. After all, Leonard did not recognize her that day. The man at this time replies that yes. And this is the orphan unit from the orphanage that Sir Echius is a benefactor of. He knew about Amelia. What an uncouth country bumpkin he is, because he has no manners. He dismissed it only because he was with Sir Echius. And instead of saying, "Hello, Your Excellency," this scoundrel didn't even tear himself away from his plate like a hungry animal. And his brown hair disgusted him to the point of shuddering again. They were so miserable and unwashed. The main character wonders if he really didn't pay attention to her so much, and was so immersed in a squabble with Lake Ian, because it wasn't hair, but a hat. Viat asks if he is talking about the orphan. But she heard that Sir Echius helps disadvantaged children of commoners. Helena thinks that this is some kind of nonsense, but at least her sister won't suspect anything now. The girl also thinks whether she should now say thank you to this guy. And the man at this time says that he heard about the phenomenon of a stone on the shore, and wonders if the young lady is really the one whose name is now on everyone's lips. Viata says that the gentleman is right, and invites Helena to meet him, because this is Mr. Osman. The main character immediately bows and says that she is pleased to meet him. Well, the guy starts looking at her, after which he smiles and says that he is flattered. The blonde man kisses the lady's hand, and asks if he can ask her to dance. The main character already imagines how she hits him in the face and screams for him to go away. She would gladly answer, but now the lady only answers that yes, after which the guy leads her. And the main character understands that, by the way, this is her chance to figuratively give him her legs. A little while later, the girl tells the master Leogardu that she is actually just learning to dance, so she asks for forgiveness if she steps on his feet, and she is really embarrassed. The man tells the lady not to worry, because he will try to dodge, and the main character thinks that he should try. When the music starts playing, the aristocrats hear some groans of pain. The main character at this time apologizes to Master Osman and asks if she is too clumsy. The man replies that of course not. And the girl thinks what is wrong with him, and is this guy really holding out until the end? Well, they'll see how much longer he can last, when people keep stepping on his toes. Then suddenly, she turns her attention to Lakin and sees that he is smiling. The girl wonders what this could mean, and she had never seen such a smile from him. The blonde at this time tells Lady Helena that she is already doing much better because she has clearly relaxed. Helena understands that in her thoughts she even forgot to step on his feet. The guy asks if she would like to dance again, and the main character refuses in her thoughts. A little while later, the aristocrats continue dancing. The blonde stands on the balcony and thinks how sweet this girl is. She is the complete opposite of her sister. The unfinished daughter of the Marquis of Kreutzen, from another woman rumors about her, reached him, but the guy could not imagine what she looked like. It's the first time he sees such a fabulous blue hair color and deep violet eyes. The guy realizes that she looks like a cat, and the lady has high eyebrows. It's very cute, and also cat-like when she steps on his feet and pretends it's an accident. Leonard understands that the lady is quite brave, and really, Viet didn't even warn her to stay away from him. The guy tried so many times to court Vieta and win her heart, but she never had time for him. However, now he doesn't need it because the Kreutzen's amulet stone chose Helena, not Vieta. If he makes the keeper of the stone his wife, then he will not have to spend the rest of his life envying his brother, who became the keeper of the stone of the amulet of the Ottomans. Although they don't seem to be enemies, he should take a closer look at the innocent antics of this girl. It's easy to seduce this girl who doesn't understand anything about life. The main character notices the guy's gaze at this time, but he understands that she is not made of glass, and maybe he will stop staring at her. After which, the girl thinks that anyway, she has a task, and she must effectively start a conversation about the academy. One of the noblewomen asks Vieta if Sir Ekius has arrived with her. The main character understands that it is not so easy, and another lady says that Sir Ekius is simply brilliant, so it is not possible that he has finally become Milady's personal guard. The woman replies that actually no, and Sir Ekius is assigned to guard her younger sister. The main character thinks that now she understands, and the woman just wanted to brag to everyone that the great sword is Kreuzen, assigned as her guard, so that everyone knows how much she values and cares for her. One of the people at this time asks if this is true. And the lady does take such good care of her sister? The other woman replies that this is indeed so, but she didn't even think about it. After which they think, why is it a sword? Kreutzen is accompanied by the Marquis's illegitimate daughter. One of the aristocrats says that this means Lady Helena has already absorbed all the power of the Shorestone, to which the girl replies that no, and her sister says that Helena has not yet taken on this. She also wonders if they don't know that absorbing the stone before adulthood gives a dismal result and meager strength. If only the girl could do it earlier. That would be great, but that's the situation, and she wants to apologize to all of them, because she's trying to help her sister as best she can. The girls immediately ask what she has to apologize for, and one of them says that Lady Vieta has a heart of gold. The main character wonders what kind of sect is this named Vieta, because they scare her. After which the girl thinks that, okay, she'll just try to squeeze into the conversation, but she needs to think through its course. If she immediately starts talking about Uvalos Academy, it will be suspicious. At the same time, one of the nobles tells Vieta that she heard a very interesting story about how she helped Lady Chloe enter Uvalos Academy. The main character wonders if they are talking about Chloe Heinen. This girl is a huge fan of Viet, and she always treated her like a fifth wheel. Viet, at this time, claims that she told her to keep it a secret. One of the aristocrats wonders why make a secret out of goodness, and Viet knows how much she loves them. Lady Heinen, and she is such a good girl, because thanks to this, the Academy is in trouble again. The main character understands that it is worth recognizing. This is a really good deed, because thanks to Viata, even the poor can study, and she cannot ignore that this girl has a good side. If only they were real sisters, and didn't have such hatred between them, then she would be proud of such an older sister, and would love her. The girl thinks it's sad, but she doesn't feel pain, and Viat does so much for others, because she's sure that the girl really loves someone. But the main character understands that she needs to put these sentiments aside, because she needs to improve the moment and join the conversation. One of the aristocrats says that in fact, if you think about it, they are all graduates of Uvalos, but at the same moment asks if this is true. The main character says that she is so jealous of Milady and would also like to study at the academy. She immediately asks her sister, Viat, can she go to the academy? She heard that they teach a lot there. She really wants to get an education and be worthy of her famous family. Helena asks if she can. The main character understands that Viata definitely did not expect this. If she refuses her now, the mask of a loving older sister will fall off before everyone's eyes. Everyone became quiet and waited for an answer, after which the main character thought that Viat would show them that she was friendly and cared even about this illegitimate girl. Her sister smiles at this time and says how great Helena is, and that means she wants to get an education. Of course, she will not interfere with such a desire, and offers to discuss it at home, to which the main character agrees, but thinks that she has goosebumps. Well, at that very moment, someone spills wine on a lady, and it ends up on another lady's dress. The main character is shocked and wonders what this is, and when she looks up, she sees a familiar person. The woman at this time apologizes to Milady, and says that she was in a hurry and therefore tripped on the carpet. The main character understands that even in her past life, she did not bully her alone. Well, after all, the girl never allowed herself anything like that. The girl thinks whether she needs to hold back her anger or feign fear because she needs to decide what is more beneficial to her. Well, at that very moment, someone else turns to Lady Heinen and asks what she allows herself to do. It turns out to be Viata. The main character wonders if this situation was really set up by her sister. But when she looks at the Viscount's daughter, she wonders why she is so scared. The girl understands that if it was a conspiracy, Chloe would not be so worried. At this time, Viata claims that she is waiting for an explanation, and her interlocutor begins to justify herself by saying that she tripped. The main character's sister says that it's good, but wonders why it looks so much like a mockery and not an accident. Helena can't believe it at this time, but this situation doesn't look like a pretense. Viat is really angry. If she didn't conspire, then the lady can only assume one thing. At this time, the girl's sister says that the Viscount's daughter dared to encroach on the good name of the Kreutzens right before her eyes. The main character understands that she is going to vomit, and that the honor of her family is more important to her than anything else. The lady also understands that she must never forget about revenge. But at that moment, someone turns to Lady Viata, and they wonder if she really loves her sister so much, but the main character understands that they don't know anything, because Viata didn't protect her. But the honor of the Kreutzens. Helena, he understands that she is so wet that she's freezing, and the girl got her way today, because she already got her opportunity to study at the academy. She has nothing else to do there, so she can just leave. But at that very moment, someone approaches the lady and tells her to wait, when the main character turns around. Then he sees Lakeen in front of him. The man then approaches Viata, and the woman asks what happened, after which he offers to take Lady Helena home. Viata, he replies that nothing can be done, and when the carriage arrives, let him accompany the lady to the castle, to which the guy replies that he obeys and leaves with the main character. Viata, at this time, watches as these two leave, after which he turns to Chloe. The girl at the same moment asks Milady what happened, and the woman says that she needs to talk to her alone, so she suggests going out into the garden. When they go out there, the aristocrats whisper that Lady Viata is angry, and who knew that she loves her sister so much. The Marquis's daughter will have problems because of her behavior, and is she in danger of being expelled after this? As the two move on, Chloe realizes that she had no idea that Viata would be so angry over a bastard, after which the two approach the fountain, and when Viata stops, she turns to Chloe Heinen. The girl gets scared after this, and then falls to her knees and screams with apologies, because she didn't do it on purpose. The girl also claims that she hates this girl who took what was meant for the lady. Illegitimate, but she dared to take the power of the Shorestone, and Helena bypassed Lady Viata. And she was also angry that the girl, being an ignoramus, was going to the academy and just wanted to put her in her place. If she knew that this would make the lady so angry, she wouldn't have done it. Viata then sighs and turns to the girl again. She also says that apparently the Viscount's daughter does not quite understand the situation because it was not the attack on her sister that upset her, and the fact that the girl publicly encroached on the reputation of the Kreutzen family. Chloe at this time thinks that this means that she can do whatever she wants when no one sees. After which, with a smile on her face, she says what a relief it is, as her interlocutor claims that tomorrow the girl will come and apologize to Helena. Chloe asks in surprise, why? And the woman replies that the girl should become her friend at the academy. The Viscount's daughter asks if that is really so, and the woman replies that yes, and he orders her to report everything, how the girl is feeling, who she meets, and what she does. And also what she thinks about Chloe should become her closest friend, with whom she can share absolutely everything. The Viscount's daughter wonders if the lady wants her to look after her illegitimate sister, in response to which the woman smiles and replies that everything is exactly like that. When Chloe leaves, Viata understands that this girl is not a villain at all, and since she had to send her sister to the academy, she needs someone to follow her. This girl started babbling in public about how she wanted to go to the academy, and Viata wonders why she didn't foresee this. Ecus's behavior also gives rise to alarming thoughts, because how well does she know him? A little while ago, a man asked if it would be difficult for the lady to return alone. The girl understands that he asked exactly the question she was expecting. Well, he didn't add anything because it's as if he doesn't really care about her safety. Viata wonders if he's forgotten. Well, at that very moment, the lady hears someone else approaching, and when she turns around, then he sees Leonard. The man says what an interesting conversation they had. Therefore, the lady simply has to tell him everything. The main character at this time heads back to the mansion. Helena, why does she feel dizzy, and maybe she really does get carsick when she drives? Well, when the lady stealthily looks at the knight, he immediately opens his eyes, and the girl understands that he immediately notices as soon as she looks at him. At this time, the man turns to Milady and asks if she minds if he opens the window. The girl replies that of course, after which he rises and finds himself closer to the lady. The main character is a little embarrassed and wonders if she has noticed his perfume before. But when the guy opens the window, the main character feels a light breeze. Lakin claims that fresh air should help with motion sickness, or the girl thinks, how does he know that she gets motion sick? The man says that the wine contains a large amount of alcohol, and she does not drink it, so just breathing it can lead to mild intoxication. Lakin also tells the lady to close her eyes and relax, to which the girl agrees. A little while later, the main character opens her eyes, and the guy asks if she is awake. The main character replies that yes, and asks when they will arrive, Lakin. They answer that they just arrived. Well, the main character thinks that this is not true, because judging by how the moon has shifted, at least an hour has passed since arrival. While she was sleeping, he covered her with his jacket, because it was thrown over his shoulders before she dozed off. The girl wonders why he is lying, but then she realizes that he didn't wake her up, and waited for her to wake up. At this time, the knight offers Milady to go, to which she agrees. When the girl gets out of the carriage, she thinks why the guy cares about her so much. But if you think about it, he was the only one who saved her when she was in danger. Well, the lady still doesn't understand why. And is it really all about the duty to protect her? The girl remembered her last banquet at Belmonge's. Someone asked if this girl was one of the Kreutzens, and how someone of particularly low origin could claim the title of heir to the house. When the main character went outside, she gave free rein to her emotions. The lady understood that she was going to vomit. Well, at that very moment, someone turned to her and asked what had happened. The girl understands that this is the knight whom the sister introduced to her. His name seems to be Lakin. The man then held out some kind of bug and told the lady to take it because this mixture would help her immediately. But the main character just turned away and told him not to worry because she was completely fine. Now the girl blushes, remembering all this, and her interlocutor asks what is wrong with her. Helena answers that nothing, but understands that she is so ashamed. The lady wonders why she did not notice him, and does Lakin really feel the same way about her in this life? The main character realizes that he always took care of her, after which he keeps thinking what an idiot she was. Because of her prejudice that Lakin was her sister's devoted servant, she didn't even say thank you to him. The girl thought that he treated her in a new way because he also returned to the past. Well, she misunderstood everything, because both before and after the guy's return, his attitude towards her remains the same. After which, the main character turns to Sir Echius and thanks him for his kindness. Lakin smiles in response to this and wonders if she has really gone crazy, given that her heart is beating so wildly. A little while later, they are already approaching the lady's room, and the girl thanks Sir Echius once again. And she also screams, wishing him good night. The man only sighs after that, and the main character runs into her room, thinking that her heart won't stop beating, and she doesn't understand what it is. When the lady looks at the jacket, she realizes that she forgot to give it to the jacket. After which she realizes that in the morning, she will give it to the maid and also ask her to wash it and give it to him. But at that same moment, the lady remembers how the guy opened the window and understands that this is the first time Lakin was so close. He has lush eyelashes and a masculine Greek nose, as well as a chiseled face, as if God had sculpted it with great activity and skill. But at the same moment, the girl understands that she must urgently distract herself from these thoughts. Helena understands that there is something to think about. When the lady left the banquet, her sister invited Chloe to go with her to the garden. Helena! He thinks about what they were talking about there, and the girl will never believe that they were talking about protecting her. Oh, the depth of devotion that his daughter Viscount feels for Viat is immeasurable. Therefore, the girl wonders what use she would find for Chloe in the current situation if she were in her sister's place. The Viscount's daughter enrolls in VILLAINESS Academy this year, and she's just getting ready, so Chloe will serve Viata as a spy. Helena understands that this is quite expected. After all, having tormented her sister, she is absolutely sure that the girl will not let her go. The main character thinks that she can do as she wants. It's much easier to not reveal secrets when you know who exactly the spy is. If the Viscount's daughter is really appointed to watch over her, then within a few days she must come to her with an apology. Lakin recalls the girl thanking him and wishing him good night. The guy realizes that it's as if he's returned to the very beginning, before he lost her trust. But at the same moment, someone else turns to the north of Echius and asks if he has already returned. And the sir didn't even warn them. This girl's name is Maria Campbell. She is Helena's maid and Viata's puppet. The man claims that Lady Helena was not feeling well, so they returned first, and the woman asks, "What about Lady Viata Lakein?" replies that she will stay a little longer at the banquet, and returned. Then the maid says that she will probably go and heads further. The guy understands that the entire marquisate is in the hands of Viata, so he needs to protect Lady Helena, and he can't relax. Lakin doesn't know if she'll let today's mistake go unpunished. He should have at least pretended to be concerned about Viete. He should be even more careful in the future. A little while later, the main character takes out one of the books and reads that this is the story of Calypso. But as soon as she looks through the book, she realizes that there is nothing there either. The lady looked through all the history books that were in the library, but did not find anything that could help to properly use the power of the amulet stone. The amulet stone, but all she can do now is just emit energy. There are monsters in the kingdom, and a surrounding force that protects the kingdom itself. This is a well-known fact, especially in the kingdom of Calypso, but there is something else that no one knows. The girl wonders how the forest of monsters appeared, and where the amulet stone came from. What she is looking for is not a legend or a fairy tale. If she finds out how the amulet stone appeared, she will surely be able to understand how to properly use its power. Well, at that very moment, the lady notices the word stranger and realizes that she is hearing this word for the first time. Helena wonders if these are the ones who came from another world. After which, the girl even wonders if there really is another world beyond Calypso. But at that very moment, the lady hears the maid asking where she is. The main character responds, and the woman confirms that she brought the lady snacks. The main character thanks the woman and asks if she will put them on the table. To something, after which the lady hands him a glass, and the main character understands that this is juice from red berries, so it would be better to pretend that she sees it for the first time. Maria is her sister's person, so caution won't hurt her. The girl asks the maid what it is, because the drink has a beautiful color. Helena thinks let the maid go to Viate and tell her that she is a silly girl who doesn't even know about red berries. The woman at this time replies that it is juice from red berries. She also apologizes to the lady and says that it is rude, but she wonders if this is her first time trying red berry juice. Helena thinks, what is she saying? Because the woman could not have not known how she was treated for 10 years. That's why the girl doesn't understand why she has such a sympathetic expression on her face. Well, then the main character realizes that she really might not have known because she was literally the ghost of the Kreutzens. The maids who came to help with the move were also perplexed when they saw her shabby things, and the lady realized that this was an excellent chance to ruin Viata's plan. If she tries to use the sympathy that Maria feels for her, she might be able to win her over to her side. Sympathy makes another person's heart weak, and now the main character with a smile on her face replies that, yes, she is trying for the first time. It's amazing that the fruit juice has such a beautiful color, after which she even thanks Maria. Helena understands that before she pretended not to evoke pity, but now, since there is such an opportunity, it must be used fully, because her goal is to survive safely and take revenge. At the same time, the lady tells women that this is her duty, and the main character understands that, as she thought the lady began to see her as a poor child. The maid immediately replies that she completely forgot to say, after all, Lady Viata called the mistress to her place, and the main character is interested in the reason. The woman replies that it seems the lady has a guest, and the main character thinks what kind of guest it is who wants to meet her. It must be Chloe. A little while later, the main character enters the living room. Viata tells the girl to come, and Helena agrees. When the girl looks at the Viscount's daughter, she understands that she certainly assumed that she would come soon. But I still didn't think it would be so fast. Viata says that Chloe came to apologize for what she did yesterday. The girl immediately gets up from her seat, but falls to the floor, and screams that it is her fault. The green-haired lady claims that she committed a sin because how could she pour wine on Lady Croyson? She apologizes again and asks for her forgiveness. Viata tells Helena that Chloe was rude to her yesterday, and if she hadn't come there today, a letter would have been sent to the Viscount's house on behalf of their family. Well, she came there and asked for forgiveness, so it would be better to leave this choice to Helena and let her do as she wishes. Her sister can forgive her or not, because in any case, everything is fine. The main character thinks if this is true, and if everything will be fine, if she does not forgive her. But her sister is sure that she will forgive Chloe. That's why she said these words. Helena. She thinks about what she should do, because if she follows her sister's plan and says that everything is fine, then that will be the end of it. Well, now the main character approaches the Viscount's daughter and says that everything is fine. Chloe looks at her with hope. But at that very moment, the main character pours a glass of berry juice on her eye. The Viscount's daughter and the girl's sister are surprised by this, and the main character thinks, won't it be funny if everything doesn't go as expected? The girl claims that yesterday was the day of her first appearance in the secular world, and in such a place, the lady committed a rude act by spilling wine on her. Because of this, in one moment, she became a laughingstock for everyone present there. Well, what angers her the most is that because of the lady, the name of the Kreutzen family is now tarnished, so she cannot forgive it. The main character understands that at first glance, it may seem that this is all for the sake of the Kreutzens. However, in order not to succumb to the influence of Chloe, who will be following her in the future, she needs to make a strong impression in advance. Looking at the expression on her interlocutor's face, the lady understands that it was worth it. She must not have expected that she would even mention the honor of the Kreutzens. Although, what can I say, she herself didn't think that she would say something like that. And the lady with a smile on her face says that she hopes her interlocutor will endure such humiliation, after which she turns to her sister and says that she wants to forgive her rudeness. The girl asks if she will allow it, and her sister finishes her tea, then puts down the mug and says that Helena is so kind. After all, she allowed the Viscount's daughter to get away with just one glass of juice. Since she has decided so, then good, and they can finish this matter. The main character thanks her sister, but he understands that she is surprisingly calm, even when her actions are so unpredictable, even though the honor of the family is at stake, and she still cannot say anything to hers. The main character then approaches Lady Chloe, and holding out her hand, suggests that she rise. The girl thanks Lady Croyson for her forgiveness. Helena claims that now they are even, because they both experienced it once, so she now offers to become friends. Her interlocutor is surprised at this time, and the girl understands that initially Chloe once said these words. But now the initiative is in her hands, and if she has to keep her close in any case, then at least now it will be her decision. The Viscount's daughter immediately replies that, of course, because in fact she also wanted to be friends with her, the main character. Also says that the lady can call her by name, but her interlocutor replies that she cannot answer. She is a year older, and she will call the lady sister. At the same moment, someone else says that it's nice to see how the two of them get along, after which the main character's sister even speaks up, that she hopes Chloe will become a good friend to their Helena, to which she agrees. Vyatsa at this time says that she is sorry that her dress got dirty. She also claims that she has several dresses that will suit a lady, and she will tell the maids, so let the Viscount's daughter go and change. The girl at the same moment admires and thinks that she is really trying on Lady Vyata's dresses, after which she thanks the lady for her care. When she leaves, the main character turns to her sister and asks if she can then also return to her room. Well, at this time, her sister turns to the girl and says that she wants to discuss what happened a little earlier. Helena. She understands that, as she thought it was too much, but at the same moment, her sister says that the girl is great, and she wants to praise her. A little while later, the main character returns to her room, and closing the door, he realizes that she said these words in sync with Viatu, but she didn't think that she would really like it, so she was very surprised. The girl understands that this is the first compliment in her life that she has received from her sister, and thanks to the mention of their family's honor, the girl thinks how great her love for the Kreutzens is. She hated her so much that she decided to plunge her into eternal sleep. But was the family name really so important to Viata that when it was mentioned, she even suppressed her hatred and praised her? Helena thinks what is so special about this part of the family, but when the lady goes further, she sees the things that she left in the library. The girl realizes that a similar maid carried them into the room, but at the same moment, the lady also notices the necklace. The main character is shocked and wonders how this happened, because she definitely handed it over to the pawn shop. Helena wonders how it ended up there. The necklace doesn't have any, so it couldn't have ended up there on its own. Someone brought it there, but the girl wonders who and why. The lady wonders if it was Maria, but at the same moment, she realizes that this cannot be, because it does not look like her sister's plan. The lady also realizes that she has a strange feeling, and it is something like a memento of her mother, who abandoned her. The lady thought that she would not feel anything if it disappeared, but now she was so happy that the necklace had returned safely to her. Well, as soon as the girl takes the necklace in her hands, her bracelet starts to glow, and the lady thinks what kind of light is coming from the bracelet. At that moment, it begins to glow even brighter, and when the lady opens her eyes, then she sees the mess and wonders what just happened. The girl realizes that it is too bright and is not a hallucination. But at the same moment, someone else turns to her, and the main character in shock wonders if this is really a hallucination. This voice wonders if she is stupid, because she is there, and when the lady turns her head, then he sees a cat. Viata is sitting in the living room at this time, and understands that everything is fine for now. She introduced her sister to people, and put Chloe next to her. She also remembers how the guy with blonde hair said that it seemed like they had something to talk about. The deal with him also took place, and although the last event is a little annoying in the end, everything turned out well, and yet she always feels like she's missing something. At this point, who else comes into the room and says that the carpet needs to be cleaned or replaced because there are traces of juice on it, and also asks if her daughter talked to the idiots on the internet, to which she replies that yes. The Marquise says that it seems that the daughter of the Heinen family has more than enough courage. She may be an illegitimate child, but her last name is Kreutzen, so how dare Chloe do something like that? Viata. She says that her mother should forgive her this time because Chloe is a good pawn. The woman then sighs and says that since the lady asks, she will close her eyes this time, and also asks if she told Jerfi to prepare for the trip to the capital. She also wonders why the girl suddenly decided to go there, and she remembers that she had no plans to travel to the capital. The girl understands that the Guardian Stone does not want to choose an owner, for a long time only in one case, and that is if its owner suffers an unnatural immersion into eternal sleep. A little while ago, one of the aristocrats said that a lot of time had passed since the Marquis fell into eternal sleep and why her powers had not manifested. Someone else claimed that Lady Vieta has already reached adulthood, and does this mean that the stone does not want to choose her? The capital's nobles are just waiting for the moment to whisper about her and the desires of the stone, so she does not like to go to the capital. But now the girl claims that Helena said that she wants to study at the Uvalos Academy. The woman immediately screams that this is impossible, because this idiot never knew her place, and the girl is not going to send her there. Well, Viata, she replies that she is going to, and screams at the women that she knows it herself, that Mark Ekis is in Uvalos. The marquise immediately begins to shake, but her daughter suggests that her mother calm down, because she also had no intention of allowing her to do something like that. But the girl asked to send her to Uvalos before the people. She had no other choice but to allow her to enter there, but she would go with her to the capital, because she can't leave her unattended. The woman thinks how smart and sweet her daughter is, but she would do anything for her, and a little while ago, the woman handed one of the ladies a potion and said that it was her choice. She also claimed that it wouldn't hurt, and now she understands that if Viata goes with this girl, there won't be any problems. Mark is also not one of those who will talk about such things, and the woman says that they can go because it looks like the girl has a plan. The lady with red hair answers that, of course. The main character at this time pinches her cheek and understands that it hurts, which means this is not a dream. At that very moment, the cat asks if the straw is woken up, and the main character thinks where this cat came from, because she has red eyes like rubies and shiny black fur. Helena realizes that this cat looks exactly like the one on the bracelet that Madame gave her. But at the same moment, the main character notices that this cat brought, and the fluffy one says that apparently, the lady doesn't know anything. The cat also asks the straw if it has a mirror. The girl wonders why the cat calls her a straw, but then she wonders why the cat even speaks human language. The main character points to the mirror, and the cat comes up to it and says that she knew it, although she didn't expect to see it in her true form. When the cat waves its paw, the main character gets up and wonders if that's how she asked her to come over. While the fluffy one is wondering how dare some straw talk to her informally. Let the girl come up and sit down because it's awkward to look up from below. When the main character does this, the cat asks what kind of tourist this is, because it's like a sluggish vegetable. Well, at least the family line hasn't been interrupted. If it weren't for this child, she would have fallen asleep forever too. Well, the cat asks why it has to be this particular straw. The main character apologizes, but wonders who she is. The cat replies that her name is Gabriella, but the lady can call her Gabriel, to which the girl agrees. She also says that apparently the stone in the shape of a cat that was on the bracelet disappeared, and Gabrielle appeared. Helena wonders if she is right, after which the cat sighs and thinks what to do with this girl, because she doesn't even know who she is, so it's unlikely that she knows anything. Fluffy says that it will be easier to show her everything, and when he extends his paw, she wonders what the girl is worth. Let her grab it quickly. The main character does so, and the cat tells her not to squeeze. After which she claims that she will show the lady something that she simply needs to know. Order in the world. But before everything was different, due to the confrontation between the devil, God Chaos, reigned in the world, and a fierce struggle was waged between the supporters of these two forces. And there were fewer and fewer people. If everything continued like this, then perhaps the human race would have plunged into eternal sleep. But a miracle happened because a child was born who had the strength of both sides, one whose birth in itself was simply impossible. This was a child who was supposed to go into eternal sleep immediately after birth, but in spite of everything he survived, and that is how Fabrage came to be. This child possessed an amazing power that appeared due to the mixing of divine and demonic power. This power was called magic, and with its help, she created a protective barrier for people. Thanks to Fabrage, people found peace. She wanted people to live in peace, even after she plunged into eternal sleep. So she sacrificed the remaining years of her life to maintain the barrier. People called her the Great Witch and revered her, but her 3 children did not have the same great power as Fabrage, so they were gradually forgotten, and the power of the barrier began to slowly weaken. The child whose strength was greater than that of Steel Fabrage left something. This is a bracelet and pendant that come in pairs, in the hope that someday children will be born with the same power and will maintain the barrier. It must be a straw, and the cat says that she has used so little strength and is already tired. And the fluffy one jumps onto the lady's knee and says that she will tell everything else about today after she gets some sleep. The main character sees that the cat goes back into the bracelet and realizes that she was in a dream. Helena wonders if she is the descendant of a witch, and if such a dinner only happens in fairy tales. The lady remembers that this woman had blue hair and purple eyes just like hers. She didn't get this appearance from Marquise Kreutzen, so her mother must have been a witch. The girl realizes that the pendant she left at the pawnshop comes with a bracelet, and it seems that they both belong to her mother. But the main character wonders why Madame Bovary had the bracelet, and whether she knew her mother. The girl remembers what Madame Bovary told her last time, and wonders if she really wanted to tell her about her mother. Helena understands that she needs to go to Madame Bovary again, but at that moment, someone knocks on the door and says that it is Maria. The main character tells the maid to come in, and when she comes in, she tells the lady that the mistress is calling her into the garden, and it looks like she wants to drink tea. Helena wonders what this sudden tea party is, and whether she really wants to talk to her about the academy. After which, the girl says that it's good, and she will come soon, and also understands that she will later find out who returned the pendant to her. A little while later, the lady comes out of her room, and the knight asks if she is going to go somewhere. The main character replies that the marquise invited her into the garden to drink tea, and the guy claims that he will take her there. Helena immediately replies that it is not necessary because there is no need to accompany her within the mansion. At this time, the guy notices the lady's pendant and smiling says that it's good, then let her join in. The main character wonders why he looks so happy, and then says that after tea, she will be in her room. So he won't have to stand there because everything will be fine and he can go and rest. Lakin wants to say something else to the lady, but she only turns around and says that they will see each other tomorrow. Helena realizes that after that banquet, she feels a little awkward being around him. A little while later, the girl enters the garden, and the marquise says that she heard the girl wants to enter the academy. Helena replies that yes, if they allow it. The marquise says that the lady does not need to look into her mouth, because it is good that she wants to get an education, and she will contact the academy. The main game does not thank her at the same time, and the woman claims that the entrance ceremony will take place next week, so the lady should hurry up with the preparations, and she can live in their capital mansion. Let them go there this weekend with Viata. The main character wonders if she is really talking about this, but she knew it. If so, she has no other choice but to follow the prepared strategy. At the same moment, the girl apologizes to the marquise and thanks her for allowing her to live in the capital's mansion and also attend the academy. While she's still wondering if she could get a room in the dorm for her, since she had heard that sister often stayed in the Uvelos dorm, and they say that because of the housework, they couldn't return to the mansion. The girl replies that that's how it was. But she also tells Helena that she was at home when she studied at the academy, so where did she get such information from? The main character understands that, as expected, she will not leave it like that, and it is good that she came up with an excuse in advance. The lady says that in truth, she overheard a conversation with the maids when they were in Uvelos. One of the maids returned to the estate, and she knows that she shouldn't do such indecent things, but she was so curious because she wanted to know about the outside world. The marquise at the same moment asks if a person bearing the surname Kreutzen was eavesdropping on the conversation. But this is such a disgrace. The main character immediately apologizes, and the woman says that she will find out about the dormitory, but let the lady be careful and not make such mistakes at the academy, to which she agrees. A little while later, the marquise says that everything is, as Viet said, she is smart and far from stupid, but still very submissive, so she thinks that she will simply be pushed around. But the girl tells her mother that she is not sure whether it will be easy. The woman asks what she means, and the girl replies that she did not need to show her stubbornness before. She immediately got what she wanted, and the girl achieved admission to the academy, and also received a room in a dormitory, so it is too early to draw such conclusions. Viata understands that the girl asks for what she wants at the right time, and she doesn't know whether her sister does this with some intention, or whether she's just lucky. But either way, it's a little annoying. Helena lived for more than 10 years without contact with people, but at the Count's banquet, and in front of Chloe, her reaction was quite correct, so she probably didn't expect this from her. Moreover, she gets what she wants too easily, as if she had thought it all out in advance, so that it would be impossible to refuse her. Viata wonders if the girl was really that smart, or if it was just that. Even if she was half as boring, she had the Kreutzen genes. The Marchioness at this time says that the lady, as an observer from the outside, knows better, but she still wonders if Duke Weaver is arriving today. She should have told her about this earlier. The girl suggests to her mother not to worry, because he will only give her something that she asked for and leave. The woman then turns to her daughter again and asserts that human life is short. Let the girl not worry about trifles and think about everything because she cares about this guy. Viata says that later, because mother herself knows what she wants most now. The woman replies that yes, but it will take 2 or even 3 years. But the girl tells her mother not to worry and to leave it all to her because everything will be as they want. The Marquise replies that it is okay and she understands. A little while later, the girl enters the corridor and understands that the Duke has arrived on time. The guy at this time says that they haven't seen each other for a long time. He also apologizes for making her wait, while the girl replies that he came on time. At the same moment, she approaches Viate, and he says that she looks tired, after which he asks if something is bothering her. The girl replies that it is nothing serious and suggests that he better tell her if everything is okay with him, since only a few days have passed since he returned from the last fight. The guy replies that there is nothing to be done because he cannot ignore the request of the royal family. Viata asks if it's really that serious, and the guy replies that judging by the number of Uranga monsters that have appeared, it's not that bad. The problem is that there are vast agricultural lands there. When he sees the face of his interlocutor, he asks not to make such an expression because he is fine. The girl replies that she decided to send the Kreutzen Knights too because it is their family's duty. The lady also understands that it is her duty too because she is simply obliged to do so. Only 2 of the 5 amulet stones are capable of attacking, and these are the Weaver family stones, and also Kreuzen. Originally, he and Dit were supposed to take turns fighting monsters, but the owner of the amulet stone, who chose it 10 years later, was not her, but their family's bastard. If only it weren't for her, everything would be better, but there is still a chance to change everything. If after a year and 9 months, the girl disappears, everything will return to normal. The Duke at this time turns to Viati, and the girl with a smile on her face apologizes, and also says that she was thinking a little. Her interlocutor then looks sadly at the lady and says that she doesn't need to force herself to smile when she's with him. The lady is too harsh on herself, and it wouldn't hurt her to be a little more lenient with herself. After which the guy hands her the hairpin and says that this man said that he cast magic on her at the lady's request, and the magical device for communication with him will be brought to the mansion tomorrow. The Duke also says that since the deed is done, he will go. Viata thanks him, but the guy claims that he knows what situation Viata is in now and what he feels. So let her not feel guilty for using him, and the girl can make rope out of him as much as she wants. He also hopes that the lady will show him her real smile the next time they meet, after which he leaves, and the girl thinks what a fool he is because the guy doesn't even know what deal she made with Leonard. A little while ago, a girl told a guy that the choice would be his, and she would give him what he wanted. The girl thinks that if Dit finds out about everything, he will bitterly regret allowing her to twist him around her finger. But the girl understands that now love is an unaffordable luxury for her, after which she leaves him. At this time, the main character lies down on the bed and realizes that she already thought that she would have indigestion. The girl was so nervous during tea that she got tired, so she decided to have dinner in the room. Now she looks at her hand and realizes that Gabriel said that she is a witch and a descendant of Fabridge. But at that very moment, the lady rises and thinks that suddenly she cannot absorb the power of the stone because she is the descendant of a witch. At the same moment, the girl shakes her bracelet and wonders how the cat could fall asleep after telling something so intriguing. But she now has so many questions she could at least have said when she would wake up again. The lady realizes that what she is probably most interested in is whether her mother really was a witch. She wonders if that's why the woman left her there, and left so suddenly. The girl also wonders why she didn't take her with her. But if she had been nearby, then the girl would not have plunged into eternal sleep so pitifully and painfully, and would not have made up her mind on the spot. But now the girl understands that it is not time to be sad, because she is alive and did not return to regret the past. And in order to change your future, the entrance ceremony to the academy will take place next week. So the lady can't sit and wait for Gabriel to wake up, and first you need to meet Madame Bobori, and also you listen to her. For this, you need an excuse to go there. At that same moment, the main character looks at the novel on her desk and realizes that she is only 17 now. There is nothing surprising in the fact that a girl of this age has only wind in her head, so she needs to play a little silly. Viata must have already begun to suspect something, but the image of a girl who loves novels is enough to dispel her suspicions. She remembers how her sister asked if this was a romance novel. She also claimed that this book was just right for her sister's age. The main character thinks that she can say that she wants to buy another book, and she found a reason to go to the city. But the problem is that Sir Echius will be with her all the time, so if only she could tell him everything and ask for help. The girl realizes that it would be great if Lakeen to the ocean already knew what would happen soon. She is so sorry that she is deceiving a man who treats her with kindness. But at that very moment, the lady hears some sound and wonders if it is Lakeen. Well, and then the girl thinks that it is unlikely that he would have immediately given his name after knocking, since he is a knight with perfect manners. Then the lady thinks who it is, because judging by the fact that there is complete silence further on, it is not Maria. At that moment, the lady opens the door and sees her sister, and the woman asks if she has disturbed her. The main character, shocked, asks if this is Viata's sister, after which her interlocutor apologizes for the sudden visit and asks if she can come in for a while. Helena replies that of course, and thinks that the girl personally came to her room. There were many cases when she called her to her place, but the woman never came to her room herself, and the girl wonders what she had in mind. Well, when she turns around, she sees that her sister is reaching out to her, after which the lady closes her eyes. But the woman only pins the hairpin on her and says that it suits the lady very well. It was not for nothing that she asked the master to restore it. The main character is a little surprised by this and realizes that this is the hairpin that broke when she tripped. She was about to attach the hairpin, and the lady staggered as if she was about to hit her. Viatza claims that Madame Bobori was right, because this hairpin goes well with the lady's hair color, so let her wear it more often. Helena realizes that she has so artificially wrapped her order in a compliment, and the woman wants her to wear it every day. The main character wonders if she did something to it, but now she just thanks her sister and claims that she will wear this hairpin. The woman at this time claims that she has not entered Lucian's chambers for a long time. She asks if the lady is comfortable. There answers that she is, and thanks her sister for her concern. Viatza looks around and says that the room is well furnished, and asks if the girl needs anything else. The main character replies that this is already more than enough, and understands that her sister is pretending to worry about her, and in the meantime is looking around the room. It's good that there are no things there that could arouse her suspicions, but at that very moment the woman picks something up and asks what it is. The girl is a little scared, but when he holds the novel in her hands, he realizes that she left it on the bed a little earlier. Helena claims that this is the book she bought last time, and the woman says that she remembered. The main character thinks how timely she is, because this is a chance to ask to go outside without arousing any suspicion, after which the girl turns to her sister and says that, to tell the truth, she wanted to tell her something. Viata suggests that she not be shy and speak, after which the girl asks if she can go to the village tomorrow because she wants to buy a few more books. She went to the library, but there wasn't a single romance novel there, and the woman with a smile on her face replied that this was the exact kind that you wouldn't find there, after which she says that there is no need to be so embarrassed, because it is normal to be interested at her age. The main character understands that before this, the woman definitely talked to her like she was an idiot and looked down on her age. The lady only happily asks if she can go to the bookstore in the village, because last time there was a whole bunch of interesting novels there. The woman replies that it is fine and she can go, after which she even says that the lady will need money. The main characters are a little puzzled and say that is why she wanted to ask if sister could lend her some money. Viata asks if she is clumsy. She wants to borrow money because there is no need for it, and she told the butler to give the lady money for personal expenses. The main character at this time thinks about this money and understands that the woman gave her 200 cards in your life when the amulet stone chose her. The girl at this time wants to thank her sister, but the girl only thinks and turns to Helena. She also says that the girl didn't have any money then, so she asks how she bought this book. The main character understands that this is a disaster and thinks what to do. She can't tell the truth about pawning her pendant with a chain to get money. After all, they are on her again, and she doesn't even know who returned them. Well, if she keeps silent, now it will be bad. The woman at the same moment asks her sister why she doesn't answer. The main character with shaking hands asks her sister not to be angry, and maybe she remembers the clothes of the service that she picked up. The woman asks if these are the clothes she wore that time, and the girl replies that yes. After all, in fact, she found one 20-card bill in one of the pockets, and those pants would have been burned anyway, so she thought that it would be okay if she took the money, and she didn't steal anything. The lady says that she is very sorry, because if the sister was disappointed in her, people understand that even though all this is a blatant lie, but it is better to be an ill-mannered, illegitimate child in her eyes than to seem suspicious to her. The woman at that very moment approaches the girl and thanks her for confessing. And then he says that there is no need to tremble like that, because if she had lied, it would have disappointed her even more. But she also asks if the lady understands that the Kreutzens don't do that, and the girl replies that yes, and that it won't happen again. Viata claims that this is already in the past, so he suggests simply leaving it between them, and there is no need to disclose such a thing. A little while later, the main character is heading in a carriage and realizes that she slept so well but still feels tired. Although everything is correct because so much happened yesterday, she poured juice on Chloe. Then the stone in the bracelet turned into a cat, and after that, she had an extremely tense tea party. And at the end of the day, sister suddenly came to her room. Now the main character sighs heavily, and the knight sitting opposite her asks if the lady is not feeling well. The girl replies that she is just a little nauseous and must be seasick. Lakin claims that he will stop the carriage at once. Helena cries out for Sir Ekis to wait, and when the guy turns to her, the lady says that she is not so bad that she needs to stop the carriage, because they will soon arrive in the village, so everything is fine. The girl thinks that what really weighs on her the most is what happened yesterday, that they have to deceive Lakin, and the girl suggests going to Esther's store. The guy asks if she really wants to go there, and the lady replies that yes, they had stopped there for a short time before when she was seasick. In her thoughts, the lady apologizes to the guy again and thinks that she realized that the knight is not her sister's man, but she is not sure that he is on her side. She will pay him back for the last time, so she needs to treat the guy to lunch. Opening her wallet, the lady sees a lot of bills, and she understands that who would have thought that she would be given 2,000 cards for expenses, and that is 10 times more than in that life. Probably it is because everyone saw who the amulet stone chose. Since she has 2,000 cards, she can treat him to the most exquisite food. A little while later, they are already getting out of the carriage, and the lady apologizes to Sir Ekius. She says that she suddenly felt ill and wonders if he could buy her some medicine at the nearest pharmacy. In her thoughts, the girl apologizes to him for lying. A little while later, she is already sitting at Lady Bobry's. The woman pours her a cup of tea, and he suggests they drink it first. Helena apologizes, but asks if they can't get straight to the conversation. After all, the knight accompanying her will return in about 40 minutes, and the woman says what a failure this is. But she wanted to talk calmly, so it's a pity. It's good that at least Lady Viata didn't follow her. The girl must have guessed herself that no one should know about this conversation. Their main characters are interested at the same moment. Is this story about her mother? Madame Bobori says that the lady is smart, and everything is correct. It also concerns her father. The main character wonders if the woman is really talking about her father. Madame Bobori claims that this story is 18 years old. That day, her father came to the Marquis of Kreutzen's mansion to meet him. Well, then the man didn't find him, and asked if the Marquis had gone hunting. The maid answered yes, and asked if he would wait for the gentleman in the living room, to which the man replied that it was not from her that he would wait for him in the hunting grounds. However, then a beautiful girl with blue hair and purple eyes appeared in front of his father. The girl who appeared so suddenly instantly disappeared into the foliage, like a deer pursued by a hunter. There she dropped the bracelet, the same one she gave to the lady. Her father tried to return the bracelet to her, but when he was looking for the girl, he suddenly saw knights heading through the forest. One of them had the same lady in his hands, and the man said that they must have mistaken her for prey and accidentally shot her. In the end, the father was unable to meet the Marquis that day, and after that, he came several times to return the bracelet. But the man only told Viscount Adden to come back. When the man asked if the Marquis could give her the bracelet, then his interlocutor asked why he should do this. 6 months later, the Kreutzen estate. There were rumors that the Marquis filed for divorce from the Marquise in order to marry a girl he met in the forest. Divorce in the aristocratic society of the Kingdom of Calypso was unavailable, and it was better to let the spouse have a mistress and turn a blind eye to everything. Then you will be a divorced woman, and it is almost impossible to get divorced if they are in an arranged marriage, as was the case with the Marquise and Marchioness of Kreutzen. Therefore, the maid who spread such a rumor disappeared without a trace. After the investigation, it was said that people on the field Renaud knew whose handiwork this was, though they were silent. Thus was born Lady Helena, and when her mother disappeared, the Marquis's mansion was turned upside down. The man threw things around the room and screamed at the woman to speak honestly. Is it true that it wasn't her doing? She answered that she didn't do anything because the baby was still crying. She went into the room, and there was only one child. Marquez collected from the people and searched the entire area, but they still found nothing. And 7 years later, the man fell into eternal sleep during an incident with a carriage, and her father was never able to return the bracelet. He wanted to return his leatherette, but it was impossible because no one ever spoke about it. As if she simply did not exist, the girl understands that she really was like that, and the woman claims that this is why her father approached her with a request. The Kreutzen house ever came, she was to give her the bracelet. It seemed he thought that the lady would come there sooner or later, since it was a jewelry store. And it really happened, so she is glad that she was able to give the bracelet to the lady. The main character understands that they could have simply neglected it and thrown it away. But Madame Bovary and Viscount Aden did not do this. At this time, the woman is interested in the lady's order, and the main character understands that it is thanks to them. She learned that her mother was possible and did not abandon her. The lady immediately rises from her seat, and she thanks Madame Bovary because thanks to her, she learned that her mother did not leave and abandon her, and she managed to return the bracelet that belonged to her, so she is in great debt to her and Viscount Aden. The woman immediately replies that she only returned the bracelet. She also suggests that the lady not talk like that and have a cup of tea, but the main character asks if the store has jewelry for men. The woman points to men's accessories and asks if the lady really wants to buy something as a thank you for the bracelet, because if so, then it's not worth it. She didn't give this bracelet hoping to get something for it. The main character understands that it's true, and she wanted to repay the favor. But now she says that she really wants to thank someone like that, but not her father. But there is a person to whom she wants to give a gift. The woman wonders if this man is her lover, which makes the girl shudder and ask what she is talking about. The lady immediately screams that if he doesn't answer, she is going to give him a gift out of gratitude for his help to her. Then the woman points to one of the pendants and asks, "How about this one, because it was made by a craftsman who is a recognized master of his craft, and he put a lot of effort into making it." The lady remembers that amethyst is a precious stone symbolizing nobility and frequency. The shop owner claims that healing magic has been cast on him so that he can heal minor wounds. The main character thinks about nobility and purity. She understands that these words are suitable for Lakeen because this pendant also has healing magic applied to it, so it will be very useful. Helena states that she will take it and asks if she can ask the lady to pack it, to which the woman replies that of course, and suggests that the lady wait a bit. But at that very moment, someone runs into the store and tells the lady that he bought some medicine. He also asks if she is okay, and if she is still feeling unwell, to which the girl replies that she is already feeling better. The knight says, "Thank God." But still, he claims that it would be better for her to take medicine, to which she agrees. After which, he hands her 2 bukleshki and tells the lady to take it, and she can drink the second one on the way back to the mansion. The lady realizes that the motion sickness was just a pretext to talk to Madame Bovary. Well, when she drinks the medicine, she realizes that it is more bitter than she thought. The guy at this time asks if it is very bitter, to which the girl replies that it is a little, and thinks whether this is really the price for deceiving Lakeen. At this time, the owner of the shop asks if the lady would like some cookies, since they will kill the bitter aftertaste, to which the girl thanks her. A little while later, the main character and the knight head to the vicarage, and the guy asks if the lady should go straight to the bookstore. Before this, the girl suggests going to a restaurant and claims that it is now lunchtime and choosing books will take time, so she thinks it's better to have lunch first. The guy then asks which restaurant he should accompany the lady to, and the main character replies that in the place where they were last time today, she is treating them. A little while later, they are already sitting there, and the lady asks if they were there last time, to which the guy replies that yes. He also asks what she would like to eat today, but the girl asks what about him. After all, she said that she was treating him and was wondering what he wanted to eat. The guy replied that he would have a steak, believe me, and the girl asked if it was really the same as last time, but he could order something more expensive. After all, today she pays, and the lady asks, "How about this Mika, because the portion there seems to be big?" The knight watching the lady realizes that she has never smiled like that before. Lady Helena probably doesn't know that her sadness and worries caused pain to his heart too. He himself only recently understood why this was so, but he still doesn't intend to reveal his feelings, because even if he confessed to her, he knows for sure that nothing would work out. So he just wants the lady to always smile like that in this life. Well, at that very moment, someone else comes up to them, and he asks in surprise if this is Lady Kreutzen. When the main character looks in the direction of this person, he is surprised and wonders what he is doing there. A little while later, the three of them are sitting at the table, and the man claims that he is surprised, because who would have thought that they would meet in such a place? Usually, he dines in more respectable places, but today, for some reason, he was drawn there, and it seems that fate itself is in their favor. The main character thinks what nonsense this is, because judging by how he carefully squeezed into their conversation, the lady is sure that he was waiting for the right moment, and Viat probably ordered him to follow them. If history repeats itself, and this guy teams up with her sister Leonard, will now try to make her fall in love with him. The guy at this time claims that he noticed this back then at the banquet, but the color of the lady's hair and eyes is unique. Helena asks if he thinks so, to which the man replies that yes, he has never encountered anything like that even in the capital. Helena realizes that the hand that so gently stroked her hair later plunged a dagger into her heart, and Leonard was a trap set by her sister. Then the girl will pretend that she fell for their trick, and will also start using the guy for her own purposes. And for this, even though she doesn't want to do it, but now she asks if the color of her hair and eyes is really strange, the lady understands that she will have to seduce him first. The man at the same moment becomes embarrassed and tells Lady Kreutzen that of course he will not answer. The color is very rare and beautiful. The main character immediately replies that she is glad that he thinks so, and the guy understands that everything is going as it should. Except for one thing, and if that guy wasn't there, everything would have been perfect. After which, the blonde asks if in their time, knights are already allowed to dine with their hosts, but the world has become much better. Lakain. He replies that the lady invited him to dine together, and it is impolite to decline the invitation of the person you serve. The blonde wonders if he is really putting him in his place, and the guy seemed to say that he received an invitation, but his interlocutor was simply imposing himself. After which, the blonde says that he has a sharp tongue, and he didn't think that he would hear such words from Sir Ikios. It seems he embarrassed him, to which the guy replies that he will take it as a compliment. The main character thinks what kind of misfortune this is, because she only wanted to treat Lakin, so she doesn't understand why everything turned out this way. The girl gets up from her seat and claims that if they need to talk, then maybe she should leave them. Leonard immediately tells the lady that no, and Lakin apologizes. At that moment, the waiter brings their dishes. The blonde understands that he will cut the steak for Lady Helena girls are weak, who are so insignificant care. But when he is about to offer this to the lady, the girl only turns to Sir Ekin and asks for forgiveness, but wonders if he could cut this steak into pieces. The lady also tells Mr. Osman that she cannot burden him with such concerns, but thanks him for his intention. The man understands that at the Count's banquet, she behaved the same way and rejected him for the second time. This is of course strange, but it does not mean that she does not like him, and the man says that let it be as the lady wishes. When he starts eating, he still doesn't understand why the lady is avoiding him, because at first he thought that Viata told her to do so. But the lady is charming in her own way, like a wayward cat, and when a guy looks at the lady's lips, he is a little embarrassed and understands that, frankly speaking, her appearance is more in line with his taste. A little while later, when he was walking in the garden, he heard someone apologizing to Mrs. Viata, and the woman claimed that it seemed that Chloe had misunderstood something, because she was angry because the name of the Kreutzens was insulted right in front of the aristocrats. The blonde understood that this was quite expected. That was the type of Viat. She would never treat an illegitimate child like a sister. The guy also heard Chloe asking Miss Viata if she wanted the girl to report to her about all the actions of the mistress's sister. The blonde wondered if she was talking about surveillance, and when he came out to the lady, he said that it seemed like they had a very interesting conversation. The lady ordered to keep an eye on her stepsister, and if this beautiful lady finds out about it, he wonders how she will react to it. His actions may be motivated by interest in Lady Helena, but he can't just walk past after hearing such a conversation. The woman asked if this was true, then approached Leonard and claimed that she needed to tell him something. Well, before that, she wanted to ask if he would be happy with her half-sister. The man asked what she was talking about, and the woman claimed that she was an illegitimate child. And although the girl could become the head of the house in the future, does he really think that he can bypass his older brother by getting this half-breed? He also wonders what if she offers him something better, the ideal that many dream of. How would he act then? Because in 2 years, her powers will pass to her, and then the woman will become the owner of the Shorestone. She is the legitimate heir of the Kreutzens and the owner of the Amulet Stone, as well as the head of the family. Isn't this what Mr. Leonard wanted? So let him choose, because she will give him what he chooses. The man then asked what the lady wanted from her, and the girl told him to make Helena fall in love with him. Having fallen in love, she will obey him unconditionally and will pass on the power of the Shorestone without any doubt. Viata also asked if he was not sure that he could seduce her. And a little while later, the guy realized that of course he would be able to see no girl who would not be captivated by his charms. Although of course he failed to seduce Viat, but that's different. It was hard for her to appreciate him at his true worth during the meal. But the bookstore is a completely different conversation because girls are attracted to smart men. Therefore, the young and inexperienced Helena Kreuzen will be simply charmed by him. After which, the guy winks at the lady. Well, the main character just turns around, and the blonde at the same moment thinks that he just needs to look, because the lady was so embarrassed just meeting his gaze. At this point, Helena realizes that she almost threw up. Lakin immediately turns to the lady and asks if something is wrong, to which the girl replies that nothing. The main character thinks that she can't say that it's because of her disgust towards Leonard. Well, I still think she should do something to get rid of this idiot. A little while later, the man says that, judging by the books in the lady's hands, she is interested in history, but he asks to be allowed to advise her because she gives a more objective assessment of the events of the past. After which he also says that this historian has several philosophical treatises, and if the lady will read them too, history better, and will also look at things more broadly. Helena wonders what she saw in him in her past life. The girl also wonders how much longer she must listen to this instructive bragging. But then the main character realizes that there is a way to get rid of him, and the lady changes in front of the gentleman, but claims that she is not interested in such books, and took this one only because of the beautiful cover. The lady then points to the novels and says that she actually likes those books. Helena realizes that given that he likes everything refined and noble, he probably won't go anywhere near the shelves with romance novels. After all, this is reading for maids and commoners, after which the ladies claim that she will go. Then, Helena thinks that she looked there in order not to arouse suspicion in her sister, and now also to get rid of Leonard. Well, at that very moment, the guy offers to go with her and claims that he has never read such novels. But everything happens for the first time. The main character wonders if he has really gone crazy. A little while later, all the people look at these two and start whispering, but the main characters don't understand that this guy isn't leaving, although people are already whispering behind them, but he's more persistent than she thought. Well, if that's the case, then it's worth entertaining him properly. After which, someone tells the lady that she has the 23rd card, and the main character asks if he can pack one of the books separately, to which he agrees. After which, the lady leaves the store, and when she turns to Mr. Osman, she apologizes for asking him to wait outside, because in fact, she wanted to give him a present. The guy looks at the book a little puzzled and wonders if it's really for him. The main character wonders if he doesn't like her present, and the young man at the same moment wonders if this is possible because he simply did not expect this and was a little confused. Helena says that, thank God, let him definitely tell her about his impressions after reading because she can't wait to hear his opinion. The guy wonders if he really needs to tell about his impressions of the main character, and she answers with a slap on the face that it is. When she leaves, Leonard thinks who would have thought that she would give him this. He also wonders if the lady doesn't know that nobles aren't given things like that. Although what can you say, she lived like a ghost for 10 years. But when he's about to throw out this novel, he suddenly stops and realizes that the lady asked him to share his impressions. He will order the servants to write something like a letter of thanks. The main character at this time is heading in a carriage and understands that this is so funny. Leonard, who poses as a nobleman in the flesh, is walking around with a love story. If Lakian had not been with her, she would have burst out laughing. But at that moment, the girl looks at the knights and understands that he seems to be in no mood. The lady feels it, although he doesn't look like that, and the girl thinks maybe she made a mistake. After all, she was making fun of Leonard. She completely forgot about Lakian. The guy at this time apologizes and says that he should have given it to the lady before they left. But he completely forgot. Helena asks what it is, to which he replies that it is a medicine for motion sickness, after which he claims that he will stop the carriage for a short time. The main character wonders if he forgot, because he was in a bad mood, and says that everything is fine because she drinks, and the carriage does not shake too much. Helena turns to Sir Echius again, and when he responds, the girl understands that it is not about the mood, avoids her gaze, and the girl wonders why he does not look her in the eyes. At that moment, she understands that she should not have asked him point blank, because she wanted to say it differently. Her interlocutor at this time answers that this is not so, and the main character claims that he is still avoiding her gaze. At the same moment, the girl understands that she supposedly decided to arrange an interrogation, but Lacaine is not guilty of anything, after which the knight apologizes and claims that he will be careful in the future. And the main character thinks that she didn't ask about it for his apology, and for some reason, she felt so sad in her soul. Well then, she understands that a word is not a sparrow, so why regret now? When the girl drinks the medicine, she understands that it is very bitter, and the knight hands her a few cookies. After all, she said that this medicine is bitter, so he asked Madame Bovary to wrap up a couple of cookies. Helena wonders if he really prepared them for her, after which everyone thanks him. The girl also wonders if he is upset, and this is stupid, because apparently she imagined it, and he would not care about her if he was sad. Helena understands that these cookies are sweet, and a little while later, they are already returning to the mansion. The main character thanks the knight for today, and wishes him a good evening, and the guy says that the lady should rest. After which the girl closes the door, and Lacan, touching her, remembers how the lady asked why he does not look her in the eyes. The guy thinks how pathetic he is because he can't even cope with his feelings. He made the lady worry, and all this happened because of that Leonard, the man who put Lady Helena into eternal sleep, and also the one she loved. He was afraid that the lady would charm this man again, but then he also realizes that he was jealous of him. He swore to protect the lady in this life, and he thinks about it, so he feels pathetic because of his emotions. The guy thinks that it would be better if she treated him the same way as in the past life. He can't hope for anything because he's away, and there are a lot of things to take care of besides him. And even if he can't help her, he certainly won't be a hindrance. While he is tormented by feelings for her, the lady can lose her life again. And a little while later, the guy comes to Viata and says that he heard the lady called him the girl, with a golden face, says that Sir Echius should pass. The guy understands that this is some kind of test, and his mistress says that today, this child went to the village alone for the first time. Of course, the gentleman was next to her, and probably nothing out of the ordinary happened, but she wonders what the girl did today. The guy understands that the lady is checking whether the horse Lakin is obedient. Ecuse. A little while later, the lady contacts someone with a magic ball, and this man claims that he was expecting her call. Viat says that he has probably already heard from Dita about this, and the man replies that, of course, and also wonders whether to tell the lady the route or whether she wants to know how long the girl stayed there. The woman asks if he can find out, and then the man replies that surveillance magic is his specialty. Then he will tell about all her movements, which were tracked thanks to the hairpin she ordered. The lady set out from the Kreutzen mansion and arrived in the village an hour later, and then went to Esther's shop and stayed there for about 40 minutes. The girl recalls how a little while ago, the guy claimed that the Lady Helena First of all, she went to Esther's shop. Their woman asked if that was really so because she wanted to go to the bookstore. The man answered that she was sick in the carriage, so she suggested that they take a rest there, and he went to get some medicine for motion sickness, and the lady was in Esther's shop at that time. After she drank the medicine, they went to a restaurant to have lunch and met Mr. Osmond there. The girl asks if this is so. It was such a surprise. After which she asks if they had lunch together, to which the guy replies that they did. The magician at this time reports that after being in the bookstore for about 30 minutes, she returned to the mansion and attacked the end of the path tracked by the hairpin, after which he asks if this is enough, to which the woman replies that it is, and they worked hard. The man replies that he is glad that his answer satisfied the lady and let her call him at any time, and he would also be grateful if the lady put in a good word with Duke Weaver. The woman replies that it is good, after which she turns off the magic ball. She understands that Lakeen's report and route the Helna's match. As expected, assigning Lakeen to Helna was a good decision. When the girl puts the magic ball in the dresser, she sees another one, and looking at him, she remembers how the Duke told her that when she is with him, she does not need to force herself to smile, and he also hopes that next time her smile will be sincere. Viata understands that she is very sorry, but she took Leonard's hand and refused him to return the amulet stone. Therefore, she probably won't be able to smile at him for real. She is very sorry that she had to sacrifice him because of such a set of circumstances. A little while later, the main character takes off the hairpin and understands that, because of Viata's decree, she has to wear it, but she doesn't know. What did she do with the hairpin? That's why she feels uneasy. Besides, the woman said that it was repaired at Esther's shop, but when the girl asked Madame Bobori about it, she claimed that the hairpin was broken, and she heard that sister sent her there. The woman replied that it was definitely not her doing, because she had only just found out that she was broken. Madame Bobori said that this did not happen. Therefore, people understand that her sister set everything up to break the hairpin, and later, apparently, cast magic on it, but the girl does not know what kind. Now the main character also pays attention to the pendant that she bought for Lakeen, and understands that she wanted to give it to him during lunch, but because of Leonard, everything failed. But the girl understands that Lakeen will now often be around, and she thinks that there will still be a chance to give him a gift. But first, she should change her clothes and rest a little. But at that very moment, the bracelet on the lady's hand starts to glow, and a cat crawls out of it. She says that it turns out that the girl's strength is really the size of a pea, because she spent very little strength and slept for so long. The main character says that she probably really doesn't have enough strength, but the cat claims that this is no reason to be sad, because she is a descendant of the Great Witch, and should be proud of it. Last time, she didn't have time to ask the lady where they are, and the girl replies that they are now in the Kreutzen mansion. But the cat replies that she is telling me about this place, and asks what country they are in, to which the girl replies that this is the kingdom of Calypso. Her interlocutor replies that she is hearing about this for the first time, and asks where this kingdom is located. When she realizes that the lady doesn't know, she asks on what side of the continent it is, at least, but the girl still doesn't understand anything, and says that Calypso is just Calypso. She says that she can't believe her, that this kingdom is located somewhere, for example, in the south of the Bayzet Empire. Helna replies that she doesn't understand the cat at all, and if she goes outside and asks where Calypso is, everyone will think she's crazy. But she speaks as if there are other countries besides Calypso. The cat then tells her to wait and says that it seems she should show the lady a map of the continent, after which she is about to use her powers, but suddenly stops and says that this strange map of the continent does not appear. She is disturbed, and the cat says that she should check it, after which he offers to give the straw a hand, to which she agrees, and the cat bites her finger. The main character immediately pulls her hand away and screams, "Why did she do that?" Fluffy replies that she left a small mark and tells the girl to reach out her hand again, after which she begins to lick the wound and claims that since the lady's powers have not yet fully awakened, it is necessary to leave a mark so that she can find the girl, even if they will be far from each other, after which the cat jumps off the bed and claims that she needs to go, and also check something. Helna is interested in what the window is already on the window, claims that she will tell as soon as she returns. Then she jumps out of the window and the main character realizes that she wanted to ask Gabriel about many things when she wakes up, but everything turned out this way, and she will have to wait again. The girl also tells the cat to come back quickly. A little while later, someone asks Helena if she is ready, and the girl replies that she is, and understands that the ceremony of entering the academy will finally take place tomorrow. And she has been waiting for this day for so long. Having passed through the magic gates and entered the capital, they arrived at the place. The girl understands that now she will be one step closer to the place she dreamed of. Now they are standing in front of the capital mansion of the Kreutzens. Viata tells Carlo to say hello, because this is her younger sister, Helena Kreutzen. The man replies that he is pleased to meet you, and he offers to leave him the bag, to which the main character thanks him. After which the guy once again turns to Lady Viate. He claims that a servant of the royal family arrived a little earlier, and the woman asks for what reason is. The man replies that the crown princess wishes to meet Lady Helena. The woman realizes that Rebecca Bazilian is the sole heir to the royal Bazilian line and the next ruler of Calypso, not known only that this girl has a very unique character, and one more thing is clear for sure, that she and Viata are enemies. The girl is at the head of the aristocratic faction, and becoming the head of the family in the future, she will pose a threat to the throne. For Rebecca, who will be the next ruler, this girl is an enemy that must be kept in check. And now, the Kreutzen amulet stone has chosen an illegitimate child. The main character asks in surprise if the crown princess really wants to meet her, and the lady realizes that it happened later than she thought. But at a very opportune moment, the lady thought that she would lend her hand to confront the aristocrat of the right faction. Well, I couldn't imagine that she would do it so openly, and a little while later, Viata apologizes for making them wait, and also claims that she was told a servant had arrived. The main character watches this guy and understands that his outfit is too good for a servant. And the lady's sister at this time says that she did not think that Advisor Crawford would come in person. The main character understands that she sent not even a servant, but her advisor. The woman at this time claims that if she had known that it was him, she would have immediately suggested the custom, but the guy replies that everything is fine and asks him to forgive her for paying a visit so suddenly and taking them by surprise. Viata thanks him for these words, but suggests that they at least have some tea now. She also turns to the butler, and he says that he will bring it right away, but her interlocutor replies that he has to refuse, because he only dropped in to give the letter. He also asks if the girl behind her is Lady Helena Kreutzen. The main character bows at the same moment, and says that it is a pleasure to meet you, and that she is Helena Kreutzen. The man replies that it is mutual, and states that his name is Esward Crawford. Her Highness asked to give her this letter, and the main character takes it in her hands. She thinks about what she is after, which the guy claims that this is an invitation from the Crown Princess Helena, wonders if Her Highness has given her an invitation, to which the guy replies that yes, and she hopes that the lady will accept it. The guy also says that his work is finished, and he will probably go after, which he apologizes to Lady Kreutzen for the inconvenience. Viata wishes him a good journey, after which the guy leaves. The main character, looking at her sister, understands that it is immediately obvious that she is nervous. They are probably because of the invitation. For some time, Viata's supervision will increase, and the girl understands that it seems that now she will have to please her in every possible way for some time. The main character thinks that she didn't intend to see her either. She doesn't really want to look suspicious. She hides some letter. When the girl opens this letter, she sees an invitation inside, which says that the princess hopes the lady will visit the palace of Aslan. 3 days later at noon, the main character wonders if this is all because it seems that now she understands what was meant by a unique character. The girl asks her sister where the palace is, and the woman says that it is the one in which the crown princess lives. Helena immediately says that he is probably luxurious, and asks if she can go to meet the princess because she wants to see the royal palace. The girl understands that her sister cannot refuse, because the advisor came personally, but she really wants to irritate her sister a little. Viata answers that it is not possible, but necessary. Helena claims that they say that royal palaces are luxurious, and they are interested in what the princess's is like, and asks if sister can tell something, smiles and answers that she does not know because she has never been there. A little while later, someone tells the lady that he will give a tour of the capital's mansion, and the main character walking through the garden thinks, did the princess not invite Viata, at least out of politeness? And who would have thought that everything was so bad between them? And yet, if the princess is so unwavering, then perhaps winning her over to her side will be more difficult than she thought. The butler at this time shows the training field of the Knights of the Croissant family and claims that behind it is a dormitory for knights. The main character sees sulfur there, Ikeosa. And when the guy turns to her, he immediately runs up and also addresses the lady. The main character addresses him in response, and the guys ask when she arrived. Helena replies that a little earlier, but looking at the guy, she immediately looks away. The young man immediately apologizes and claims that he appeared before the lady in such a form. But the girl replies that it is nothing because she suddenly came there, and the girl asks the butler to show her other places. Lakin asks if she is leaving, and the girl replies that she is just looking around the mansion, and the guy asks if she is planning to go out today, to which the lady wants to answer that she is not going out, and then claims that after lunch she is going to stop by the store. Tomorrow is the entrance ceremony, so you need to buy everything you need to, which the guy replies that it is clear, and then asks to call him when she is ready to leave. And the main character replies that yes, and also thanks him. The girl realizes that he looks just like a puppy, and she wasn't imagining it. Then she turns back to the guy and realizes that he is exactly like a puppy. The butler at this time, with a smile on his face, says that he heard that Sir Echius was appointed the lady's personal knight. This is a young man who has managed to achieve a lot despite his young age, and therefore he respects him. The main character asks if this is true, and the man replies that many there think so. Or if his pedigree was a little better, he could have achieved greater heights. Although it doesn't seem like he is interested in this, and the main character is wondering what's wrong with his pedigree. The man asks if she knew, and although it is not a secret, it is unpleasant to chat about such things left and right. Sir Echius was an orphan. Helena asks how it is that her interlocutor claims that the lady's reaction is completely justified since he is much more noble than most aristocrats. The amazing thing is that he was like that from the moment he arrived at the orphanage. So many noble families wanted to adopt him, and among them, there was one that every commoner recognized. But Sir Echius persistently refused until he met the former commander of the Knights of the Croissant family. Mark Echius, he accidentally saw how Sir Lacaine was practicing fencing, and the commander, amazed by someone else's talent, took him as a student and supported him in every possible way. Thanks to this, Sir Lacaine became the youngest knight at the age of 16, and in order to repay the kindness, he began to serve the Croissants, and having become famous, he even received an offer from the royal family, but rejected it. Most likely this was his attempt to remain loyal to Sir Mark. The main character then apologizes, but asks what about the guy's parents, and whether they have really fallen into eternal sleep, to which he replies that he doesn't know, and Sir Lacan never spoke about them. Therefore, it is probably not only he, but also the head of the shelter, and the previous commander of the knights do not know anything about them. A little while later, the main character sits in her room and realizes that she knows almost nothing about the knight. Although what can I say, in the past, she even considered him to be her sister's man, and that's why she wasn't interested in his fate. And now the main character remembers how she saw him and slaps herself in the face and thinks about what she is thinking about. By the way, she bought a necklace to give it to Lacan, but there was no good moment. The girl understands that it was possible to give it away earlier, but if someone saw it, strange rumors would spread, and it would be especially unpleasant if it reached her sister's ears. Lakina is presented in the window, and as ears and eyes, they would begin to use for completely different purposes. Then the main character thinks that she should probably hand it over when they are alone in the carriage. But then she realizes that this won't work, because if she gives it, there she will have to sit in awkward silence, and it would be better to do it right before saying goodbye at the entrance to the room. Well, at that very moment, the girl hears some unpleasant sound, and when she turns around, she sees that this cat is scratching at the window. The lady immediately lets her inside, and the cat tells the straw that she has returned. The main character says that she came earlier than she thought, and asks if the cat got hurt anywhere, but she only asks if the lady thinks that she is the same as the straw. After which he tells the girl to let her go to the ground, and she agrees. The window tells the girl to go there and sit down because she needs to tell her something. When the main character sits down there, the cat thinks about where to start, after which she claims that this place is surrounded by some kind of force, as if it is under a barrier. And the main character says that this is probably a protective barrier, because since the foundation of the kingdom, it has been under a protective barrier. His Majesty the King. The cat asks if she is talking about the protective barrier, and the lady answers the state of the power of the golden amulet stone. There are 5 amulet stones in the kingdom. The golden one belongs to the royal family of Basilian and has protective properties. The black stone belongs to the Duke family of Weaver and has the power of destruction. The blue stone is the amulet of the ducal family of Osman, and it also has protective power. And the silver one belongs to the ducal family and is healing. The red stone of the Marquis Croissant family has the power of destruction. If the heir of the family wants to become the head, then he must absorb the power of the shore stone, and only then can it be used. The current king has swallowed up the village of the Golden Stone and ascended to the throne. These hitchhiking sellers, he maintains a protective barrier, and the cat says that sounds logical. And also, if that's the case, then the lady is right. But since it's the power of the Golden Stone, then shouldn't it protect the people and all that? The lady replies that yes, but the cat claims that the power she felt is not good, no matter what. Helena asks if this is true, and if her stone can carry evil in itself. The girl remembers how some voice asked if she wanted to take revenge on those who deceived her and plunged her into eternal sleep. But the price for salvation would be love. Helena asks what it was then, and the cat replies that she doesn't know, and she needs more magical power to find out about it. It's too weak. The main character then asks for forgiveness for her weakness. At this time, the cat asks what kind of serious face she has. Out of the blue, the lady answers that she did say that there are 5 rocks and banks, and to become the head of the family, you need to become its owner. After which the girl claims that she has absorbed the power of the red stone, and she has not yet fully mastered it, but already feels it in herself. The cat looks at the lady and claims that, as she thought this is an evil force, and she does not understand how such a stone can be used in tandem with the word amulet. What is more important is the influence of this force on the lady, and then the cat tells the straw to hug her and lie down on the bed. Helena wonders if they are going to sleep, and the window asks if it is possible to sleep in such a situation. She adds that she is going to test the power of the stone that is now inside her, and will use her power, but she is still weak, so the lady will lose consciousness. That is why she told her to lie down on the bed. But if she wants to lie on the floor, then you can do it. And there the lady answers that she does not want to. But the girl also wonders how long she will remain unconscious, because after lunch, she will have to leave the mansion, to which the cat replies that she does not know, and that she will probably wake up in an hour or 2. When waking up, the whole body can break, and this is normal when the supply of magical powers is depleted. The cat says that she will also fall asleep, and during sleep, the reserves of magic will gradually replenish, and the girl answers that it is good. Then the cat tells the straw that they will see each other after sleep. A little while later, the window asks what kind of pathetic sight this is, and how could the great Gabriel become a beam of light? So is this really all she can do, even with all the strength of a girl? Well, one cat was impressed, and that is that a person needs to awaken in order for her to have magic, and this child has it, although there is no sign of awakening there. Perhaps in the future, she will be as strong as Mrs. Farbage. Helena said that she had only partially absorbed the power of the stone so far, and then this power must be circling around her heart. Well, when the cat comes to this place, it sees the barrier created by the witch, and understands that it protects the straw from this evil red energy, so the cat thinks to whom it belongs. At that moment, someone hits her, and she realizes that this is how she can wake up. A little while later, the main character gets out of bed and realizes that the cat was right, because now she feels as if she is overtired. And the girl wonders if cats are also so bad, and she just fell asleep lying down. The lady hopes that she will wake up quickly, because then she will be able to find out what is going on with the power of the shorestone. The maid notices something and wonders if the lady is feeling unwell. The main character replies that everything is fine, just her body a little. but she also didn't sleep well. Helena understands that her sister's man is worried about her. Before her return, it felt like simple politeness. But now everything has changed a lot, and she did the right thing by deciding to evoke sympathy for herself. The girl thinks that the gift also played a role, and a little while ago, the girl handed Maria a box and said that she bought it when she went to the city. When the maid took out this brooch that she claimed to be incredibly beautiful and wondered if it was true for her, the girl replied that of course, but the maid asked why the mistress was giving her such an expensive gift. The main character replied that it was because the lady was her first personal servant. Now the woman is asking what about a massage upon her return, because she will feel better, and Helena replies that it would be good. But the main character understands that this girl is still her sister's person, and every time she goes outside, she puts this particular hairpin on her, although she has other jewelry. This was definitely an order from her sister, and further proof that there was something wrong with this thing. She feels a little uneasy, but the girl doesn't think that the jewelry contains poison or anything like that. She can't prove anything yet, so she'll have to wear it. But when the lady leaves the room, she realizes that something is still bothering her. And a little while later, the three head into the city. The main character looking at her sister understands that before she thought that she was taciturn, but this is natural, so why should she communicate with her? There is no need to have heart-to-heart talks with a person you will have to bow to in the future. If she starts playing at being friendly and asking questions, often, it will only get worse for her, so it's better to stay on staff, and the girl just doesn't feel very well. A little while later, someone tells the lady that they have arrived, and when the lady gets out of the carriage, she realizes that she is worse off than she thought. You just need to try on the uniform and then immediately return, and when the knight says that the lady doesn't look well, then the girl replies that everything is fine, because it looks like it was too hot in the carriage. But at that very moment, the girl feels pain in her leg and begins to fall. At that very moment, someone grabs her. And when the lady looks in front of her, she understands that this is Leonard, and the guy asks if she is okay. Helena wonders what he is doing there, and the blonde claims that he will accompany Lady Kreutzen. After all, he can't let her stumble again. The main characters answer that it's not worth it because it's not Sir Ikas's fault. To tell the truth, she slept during the day in an uncomfortable position, so her body hurts a little. But her interlocutor tells the lady not to worry, and the main character wonders if he has really gone crazy. After all, she needs to tell him to let her go immediately, but then the girl sees her sister's gaze on her, and she understands that there is no way out. She needs to pretend to be a fool in love, after which she thanks Mr. Osman. They leave, then the knight watches them a little sadly. When they enter the store, the main character says that now the master can let her go. The man asks if the lady can walk on her own, and if she has injured her ankle before, to which the girl replies that she only tripped, and besides, she will rest on that sofa. When the lady sits down there, her sister says that they came to try on the uniform they ordered, and the worker asks them to wait a little. When these two approach the sofa, the main character's sister asks why Leonard came there, because it doesn't look like it was for the uniform. The blonde sits down next to Helena and says that the lady is joking well, because he is no longer at the age to wear a school uniform, but he also came there for the clothes. After all, he will be giving lectures in Uvelos. The main character thinks about what he is talking about. Her sister claims that she heard Mr. Finger stood on refused this offer. But it seems like the academy has put in a lot of effort this year. The guy realizes that he's just following Viada's orders. However, she has a great game, because last time, the girl herself told about Helna's walk and arranged their meeting. And today, she invited him there, and her face doesn't even think of giving away the owner. So the guy thinks that this is a scary girl. It is better to be friends with her, although he has nothing to fear anymore, because now they are in the same boat, and all he needs to do is charm this innocent girl. After which he turns to the main character and says that he heard that Lady Helena entered Uvelos this year. The main character answers the gentleman that yes, and he, with a smile on his face, claims that it looks like they will often cross paths, so they ask to call him by his name and not sir. Helena realizes that she doesn't want to do this at all, and then turns to her sister and asks what she will say. After all, it would be rude to call the gentleman by his name, to which her sister replies that the girl should do as they say, because the gentleman cares about her so much, and this is a rare stroke of luck. The main character understands that she is talking about care and luck, but these are words that should make her believe that she is special. But these are just shackles to manipulate her and make her fall in love with Leonard again. But now the girl just smiles and asks Leonard to take care of her. After the conversation continues, the lady thinks that for some reason she has difficulty breathing. The girl also thinks when they will bring the uniform, and in her thoughts asks at least someone to get her out of there. At that very moment, someone else comes into the shop and wonders what he is doing there. This guy says that who would have thought that he would meet them in such a place, and says that they haven't seen each other for a long time. It turns out to be Duke Clemens Viata immediately rises to greet his lordship, and Leonard asks why he is there. The man replies that he is just. But when he looks at the main character, this girl reminds him of Reina. Viata at this time turns to his lordship, and he once again looks at the analyst and realizes that this is a different person. He also tells them not to pay attention and asks who the lady driver is, since he sees her for the first time. Viata replies that it is her half-younger sister, and the girl tells Helena to meet the Duke. When the main character gets up, she realizes that she is in pain, but she still bows and introduces herself. When a man hears her name, he thinks a little and asks if she is free and if he can sit down, to which she always replies, yes.